welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition, another month of the LiuLi Cup number 38. I'm, of course, just VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Oh my god, just realized something. There we go. Welcome one and all to another monthly LiuLi Cup tournament. For those that are curious, this is a tournament that runs on a regular basis. Shout out to LiuLi, or shout out to Saber for hosting and for running the event. This is an invitational, and every single time the format is a little bit different. Sometimes it's a best of 9, sometimes it's an 8-player single elimination bracket, sometimes 4-player, sometimes double elimination, sometimes round robin, sometimes GSL group. They do like to mess with the format, have some fun, and mess around with it. And this month we have something different. We have a 4-player single elimination bracket ready for us. Let us go as we switch our scenes over and catch up on today's broadcast. From the top, we have 4 players. We have Scarlett versus Jieshi, and we have GuMiho versus Lancer. We're going to be featuring 2 Protoss players from the Chinese region, alongside GuMiho, alongside Scarlett as well. And I've been excited here to cover this for one big reason. Scarlett, she has not competed in a very long time. Scarlett has been on hiatus. Scarlett has been taking a break alongside many other players, to be fair. A lot of players have been taking a break from the game, especially leading into and until the announcement of EWC. But Scarlett marks her return for the first time in a long time, and I'm curious to see if this is the beginning of something different here, if this is the beginning of Scarlett's comeback, right? I'm excited to see if she comes back for DreamHack Dallas, for example, for the EWC qualifiers. How much is Scarlett going to return in, or just for some show matches here and there? Curious. Let's go. Let's find out. Let us find out. Now, of course, we have our 2 best of 5s, so I should also emphasize that as well. The initial rounds are going to be best of 5s, and the finals are going to be a best of 7. So we do have less series, that is true, but we have some hefty series back here. There's going to be a lot of games here to be played, a lot of games to indulge in. If you see the title of the stream, it does say, or at least when we went live, Kanoya show matches. Depending on how fast or how slow these matches are, depending on how much time we have afterwards, we might also cover some of the Kanoya show matches. Specifically, Björn and Special had a TVT show match, and we also had Björn and Creator as well in TVP. They also had their own best of 5s that we do have replays of. They played last week, or even less than a week ago at this point. But again, I'm tempted to jump into them if we have enough time after this. It does depend. It does depend on the length of the broadcast. I know that recently I've been trying to take things a little bit easier here, just slow some things down and have some more time to just take a breather and take a break. So we'll see. We shall see. For now, though, we're jumping into our first series. We're going to be jumping into GuMiho versus Lancer up first in the Terran versus Protoss. Let's go. Hello, Werehugs in the chat. I see Baby Links. I see Werehugs. I see Sinistro and Laser and Chrononauts as well. Bienvenidos as we are jumping into our fresh best of 5 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Lancer, aka Cyan, and spawning in the top right hand corner we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran. It is GuMiho. We go. But again, over the course of the weekend, we do have a lot to go over, a lot to indulge in. I know that GSL was last night as well. Yeah, I've yet to go over the GSL matches myself, as of course we are going to be casting those matches next week. So that's also something to look forward to, is going over and covering GSL. We'll do our best to try to bring it to you like as quickly as possible after the fact, after the events take place themselves. We'll be on that. Until then, we're settling in. Until then, we do have initial openers here. Double gas out of GuMiho. Now, GuMiho has a very aggressive form of TVP. We recently did feature GuMiho in the GSL qualifiers, and he was hyper aggressive. Pure 2-base all-ins. Pure 2-base all-ins against Hero of all players, by the way. And GuMiho did bring Hero down in those qualifiers. I do recommend the VODs. I recommend, especially if you want to tune into some very short and very intense TVP matchups, including GuMiho, including Hero, including many of the other Terran players involved in that broadcast. Looking at Björn, looking at Kior, looking at Maru especially. God damn it. But hey, we had some shorter games, and I'm leaning towards that here as well. right? With a double gas opener, this means we have a faster factory, faster starport. This does typically lead into something more tech heavy early on. We should be seeing a CC after the factory. This can lead into a one base all-in, and we have seen GuMiho one base all-in before, but we don't expect that on a large map like this. You know, if we were loading into Whispers of Gold, then it would be viable. El Dorado potentially as well, but here we should slow things down, get a CC after this. But this also leads into maybe Reactor Reaper Hellion. This can lead into early tank drop, early cyclones, or this can lead into early committed Banshee harass as well. We'll see where this leads, as there's that CC on the low ground. Command center is being taken. Back across the map, we have our standard opener, Gate Cyber into Nexus. So Gate Cyber expand. GuMiho does poke in. Pokes in, pokes out, doesn't quite commit. Behind this, we have our tech of choice, Stargate opener by Lancer. Okay, that I was not expecting. I mean, Lancer, he has his own quirky style of play, and I should also emphasize I'm excited to see Lancer once again, because last time we casted Lancer, what did he do? He took down Maru earlier this year. It's been a couple of months, but again, Lancer did bring Maru down. That was back, I want to say, either Masters Coliseum or actually in LiuLi Cup. He has his own style of doing things, and he does open up Stargate here, which is a bit of a rarer sight nowadays. You know, we had a double Reaper into Widowmine here from GuMiho. We have more Widowmines waddling across the map. One Reaper does slip in, going in for the scout, and we'll see if he can get that scout off, as he does make his way into the main. At the same time, Widowmine is waddling into the natural. He does scout, he does confirm. Is where the Stargate opener. Widowmine waddles in. Laser does react in time. He does pull away. Whew. Oh no! Oh, and he will lose a Stalker in the process. Brutal loss there for Lancer. The Widowmine can waddle out, and then we replace it with another Widowmine. Another one waddles in. Getting one probe, and then we... okay. This time we're going to be shut down. But so far, good trades. So far, one Widowmine for a Stalker and a probe. A better trade here for GuMiho. From here, we are... Of course, he also was able to scout and confirm what was going on. Now, following this up with a 1-1-1, we have a drop towards the main base. And also, that Widowmine can always scuttle in once again. As GuMiho is boosting across the map. Does avoid the army. We have one Widowmine. We have 4 Marines. Phoenix production has begun. So opening up Phoenixes. Oh, sorry, I should say Oracle into Phoenix. GuMiho does drop in. And the mine shot, what does he connect with? Oh no! Oh my god, takes out the Oracle. Oracle goes down, massive pickup. Likewise does graze a couple of probes. 3 workers going to be going down. And barely 4 towards the end. Yeah, 4, 5, almost 6, 7. Jesus. 7 probe kills as we had a mine shot here in the natural. GuMiho just pulling a Lancer apart. A very nice damage. 7 probe kills. The Oracle as well. And back at home, GuMiho is building up. He's building up here. He's getting to his own 3-1-1 setup. Tank production has begun. We have the early Viking to help defend against the Phoenixes. And we can see that it's going to be initially a Phoenix opener, that is true, but we are stopping any additional Phoenix production. And we have Charge on the way instead. Now, checking the vision, GuMiho, he did see the Twilight Council. So he knows. He knows about the ground switch of his opponents. He's aware it's not pure Skytos. It's not going to be Phoenix into Colossus. So GuMiho is aware, and GuMiho already moving in. Does get the double lock on. Double lock on, and does take down the Stalker. I've got 2 Stalkers in the set. Jesus Christ. Calm down, GuMiho, calm down. Cyclones, they pop off, they shut down the Stalkers, they shut down the Sentry as well. The base is forfeit. There's no saving this. The Viking lands, but extra DPS. And Lancer just doesn't have the supply. He just doesn't have the army to deal with this. Likewise, doesn't have the upgrades either. He has no blink, he has no charge. Once again, more lock-ons. Punishing those Stalkers. Nexus does go down. There's a lot of momentum here in GuMiho's favor, and he doesn't have to keep pushing. If he wants to, he can back off, get a 3rd CC, and just macro up. Like GuMiho, he doesn't have to commit. He has options. Does have options. From here, GuMiho, he pulls away. Pulls away. Charge is now finally done for Lancer. Retaking his third. He's retaking. Likewise, rotating over towards the third base. Towards GuMiho. So hard delaying the third CC. This is okay damage with the main. He cannot fight the main army. Let's get out of here. He cannot fight head on. Not like this. Sure, he has charge lots, but those are linked with stalkers and vanilla. Has to get out of here. Has to pull away. Third base is saved. Was delayed. And there just aren't enough zealots here. Oh, he does try to engage. Zealots are coming from behind. Not bad. Comes in with a surround. The GuMiho does kite back. Stim is done in 3 seconds. Yeah, this is a premature fight from GuMiho without Stim, but there we go. Stim is complete, and now he's going for the Stalkers. He's going for what little is left. Takes out 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. GG gets called, and GuMiho will take game number 1. GG. Whew. Again, an intense game out of GuMiho. Non-stop aggression from almost the beginning, which is what we expected from GuMiho, especially with his recent tendencies. But very intense, very aggressive, very impressive what he was able to achieve with so little so early on. GG. GG will play. GuMiho does claim it. On the side of Lancer at this point, after game 1, I'm sure he's a little bit more aware of the pace here of GuMiho, and that's where over time can get used to said pace and can of course have some stronger defense. Likewise, we could even see Lancer try to adjust things here and have a stronger offense instead. Stargate opener into charge does hit a lot later. We might see something different here to be more assertive early on. As we are jumping into our next game. I got you. And spawning in the top right hand corner of lane lines, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss. Whew. Down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and tie things up. It is Lancer. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran. In the series 1-0, it is GuMiho. We go. The players are going to be settling in and calming things down. Now, last game, we had a double gas opener out of GuMiho that led into very early Widowmine harass, with Widowmine just waddling into the bases, followed up by another Widowmine drop, followed up by just pure aggression out of GuMiho. See how our players adjust. As Lancer does start things off with the scouts, he does check his third, checks the forward third base as well, just checking for proxies, making sure there's no shenanigans going on. Meanwhile, single gas opener, GuMiho going for a faster CC, a faster command center on the low ground. Okay. So GuMiho settling in. Being more economic this time. I do appreciate the change of pace compared to game 1. Again, GuMiho showing that he is willing to spice things up and adjust and try to change his own tempo as well. From here, this should just lead into a 1-1-1. Technically, we could go for a faster second rack, so our eyes are going to be on GuMiho. Likewise, Lancer coming in with the rope scouts. Ooh, is going to be hunted down. And does he get eyes on the CC? Oh, he does not. Ooh, barely not. He was so close. Scouts is denied. Lancer, he doesn't know. It could be a faster CC. It could be a delayed command center. Or there could be just no command center, period. So we have the follow-up. It's going to be a sentry. This makes sense. Does go for the sentry, going for the hallucination. It's going to be a later scout, but a scout nonetheless. Meanwhile, there's that 1-1-1. Starport is on the way. Add-on swap into reactor to Hellion production. Now, we'll see if this goes into double Hellion followed by double Reaper into a Reaper drop. Sorry, I'm going to say double Widowmine into a Widowmine drop. Or this could lead into a third and fourth Hellion and go for a Hellion drop instead. So we could see a Hellion drop, could see a Widowmine drop. Oh, never mind. It opens up 2 Hellion into add-on swap into Marine production. Okay. No drop play whatsoever. Going to Cloak Banshee, which is immediately scattered by Lancer. He sees everything. Lancer does confirm the chances of the Cloak Banshee doing damage is now much lower. Back at home is going for Blink Base. Oh no! Blink Base over, thankfully. Does force field in time. Jesus. Doesn't quite lock down the army, but at least does deny the scats into the natural and does deny any kind of damage. I may have spoken too soon. Reaper does fall. Hellions, they go back into the bases. Oh, this time Lancer not quite in position. He does bust his way into the main. And probes are lining up. Getting 2 probes so far. Getting 3 probes, even 4 probes. Oh, God, God. Getting up to 4 probe kills. Workers do go down. Lancer taking his 3rd. He's moving out. Does move out towards the natural. Alas, we're in position. Detection is still on the way. But last cloak just now finishing up. Oh, cloak now done. GuMiho backs up. Observer has arrived and lands the defense. And again, we spoke about this. Lancer was able to get a full scout earlier, so the Banshees, they've done nothing so far. Showing defense for Lancer. So GuMiho does move out. Does commit. He's got his Cyclone, has his tank, has some bio. Bearing in mind, this is a pusher without stim, so a stimless move out here. He's got a couple of boys to repair. Trying to catch out the Stalkers. Does get a tank shot off. Tank really does connect. Has 2 Banshees that might be protection, but they can one-shot probes. They come in, Lancer out of position. GuMiho pulls away with his army, so he was only posturing just to catch any free units, but he doesn't quite commit, thankfully. So GuMiho pulls away, gets ready for his own expansion, setting up still on 2 bases. And the Banshees, they bob, they weave between the bases here. 10, 11 probes go down. Despite being scattered, despite the detection, GuMiho is getting out of hand here. Lancer takes out 1 of those Banshees. At the same time, goes for a massive counterattack, gets 1 tank. Can he get 2? Oh, not quite. Does something fast. 4 Stalkers, they can one-shot SCVs. Oh, God, they're just getting caught out, though. And the Stalkers, there's no way out of this. They're being hunted down. One of them does not get away. Oh. As at least the Banshee does fall, but again, these are brutal trades for Lancer. Lancer plummets the supply, bleeding out far too much. That was 8 Stalkers going down. He was able to get a Banshee, able to get a tank, able to get a couple of SCVs. That was not worth it. Bearing in mind, 17 robes have fallen already this game. That was the Hellions alongside the Banshees. The Banshees, even though they went down, they paid for themselves. And Lancer's hurting. Lancer, he needs time to recover. Behind this, working towards charge, working towards the Bay into Colossus production, but he needs more time. And GuMiho shouldn't give it to him. GuMiho is getting his 3rd season location. He has stim now. He's waiting for his medevacs. Once the medevacs arrive, he can move out. Here does go for the big on siege. He's pushing out. Now as he moves out, Lancer is moving in, going for the backstab. Not bad. Going to catch a couple of SCVs. Able to delay, able to disrupt the economy here of GuMiho. GuMiho doesn't care. he just commits. There's some reinforcements at home to try to deal with this. 4 SVs do go down, and oh, Lancer out of position. He's on the low ground. Ta-da! Army steps in. Charge is not yet done. A bit of a premature siege here from GuMiho. That's quite far back. The Colossus is holding its own. GuMiho once again pushing forward. Still a little bit far back. We're building up towards a second Colossus with 2 Colossus. Lancer, he can hold on. Once again, trying to jack the army within position, within range of the tanks. More reinforcements have arrived. 1 tank is at least within range of the Nexus. And here we go. Lancer, he does commit in. Charge now complete. Get some okay mine shots. Colossus, they just rain down on the bio. And it looks like Lancer should have enough. It's going to be close. The Colossus does barely survive. Whew. It cleans up. Lancer cleans up. He does hold. Bleeding out 6 probes, but he does maintain both Colossus. Just barely. 4 HP. GuMiho scans. He knows how vulnerable this army is. I'm sure he's tempted. She's tempted to dive. Oh. Jumping into the main. Snipes the bay. Takes down the bay. Denies extendable lance. Another the prism. Prism getting caught out. That would have been a way for Lancer to try to recover here. To counterattack. And again, Lancer is just unfortunately 1 step behind. He's behind economically, which is a terrifying thought here in TVP. Likewise, does have some Colossus, that is true, but the supply just is not there. And GG gets called. Lancer is torn apart, and GuMiho will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG will play it again, and GuMiho does maintain his lead here, does extend it. Lancer, I will say that early on, he was in a decent position when it came to defending against the Cloak Banshee. Like, he was able to scout, able to prepare for it, able to shut it down for the most part. But unfortunately, as the game progressed, despite scouting the Cloak Banshee, they still dealt a hefty amount of damage. They still got 17 probe kills in total alongside the Hellion Harass. Despite being aware, despite being in position, he was still caught off guard, and he was still torn apart. And with that kind of set the pace for the game. We saw that Lancer was able to counterattack at that time and catch like a tank here and there, but it just wasn't worth it. The losses were far too great, and GuMiho was able to snowball from there. Just a really strong early game out of GuMiho to be able to deal that much harassing damage, then followed up with his pushes. GG. GG, well played. With that, GuMiho does take a 2-0 lead, and now we're jumping into game number 3. Jumping into Whistles of Gold. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner. Bottom right hand corner here of Whistles of Gold, we have the blue Protoss player, the Chinese Protoss, down heavily here in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Lancer. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran. It is GuMiho. Here we go. As I said, Lin, when it comes to Lancer and his strengths in this matchup, we mentioned earlier that he did defeat Maru earlier this year, and he did, but I'll be honest, a lot of that and a lot of Lancer's prowess in PvT, I would say, comes from the mid game. Get this man into a 3-base economy, like at a good timing, in a normal position, without taking too much damage early on, and he can thrive in said mid game with his gateway composition, with Storm, with Colossus. Like, again, we saw him have his way with Maru earlier this year, and I want to believe he can take it to GuMiho as well, but a lot of this comes down to the early game. It's been a rough early game, both in game 1 and in game 2 for Lancer, taking some hefty losses early on. Hopefully he can recover from that. Game 1, it was the Widowmine harass and the drop play Game 2 was the Cloak Banshee and the Hellions. Here in Game 3, hoping we can secure ourselves. But now, Gate Expand, economic, bit of a greedier start here from Lancer. It is more standard to go for the Cyber Core before Nexus in TVP. So he does cut some corners. Across the map, it is going to be a single gas, Rax, Expand out of GuMiho, CC on the high ground. I mean, GuMiho, he does have a 2-0 lead, so going for the high ground CC makes sense, just playing it safe. It's going to be playing it safe. And this Lancer establishing is natural. West Pro Scout does confirm the timing of the CC. Behind this, we have our more delayed factory. Into 111. This time there is no add-on swap, so we're going singular Hellion. This should only be one Hellion to get some scouting information across the map. The earlier Marine production, this might lead into Hellion into Widowmine, into Marine Widowmine drop. So we'll keep an eye on GuMiho. Meanwhile, we'll see what kind of tech Lancer goes for. Every game so far, he has mixed it up, right? Game 1, we saw a Stargate opener. Game 2, we saw Twilight Council to Blink. Game 3, that is a third Nexus before anything. What the hell? Lancer, count, that is a third Nexus before tech. That's a Gate Expand into Cybercore into third Nexus. This is the greediest build you can ever go for in this matchup. A bar like Nexus, which would never happen. Okay, the Hellion does confirm. So Lancer cutting a lot of corners. This does mean that Lancer, his tech is going to be late. So his blink, his additional gateways, his additional warpins, that is all delayed. With SimCity, he is safe against Hellion harass. But it's now the pressure is heavily on GuMiho to do something about this. GuMiho, he has to try to break and has to try to punish Lancer in some way. I don't think I've ever seen a player go third Nexus before tech like this. That is insane. Okay, let's go. Let's go. GuMiho does boost in. Army's in position. But if I'm taking a lot of hits, and the first one shot should be going off here. Oh, barely does connect. Forcing for the fire though. Not bad. Boys are being pulled. Medevac does go down, and with that, Lancer holds. Lancer, he holds, he defends, he bleeds out 2 probes. 2 workers go down as 1 Hellion does get into the natural. Ooh, probes are getting roasted. Okay, 3 getting to 4 worker kills. And nice damage from GuMiho. He does make up for his earlier losses. And this is good, but remember, because of the fast third base, that means that even though Lancer lost 4 workers, which typically would have been a decent start for GuMiho, they're being replaced. They're being replaced real fast and real quick. You see GuMiho in the center of the map, Liberator into the main, by a tank towards the center. Let's go. GuMiho, he does rock up, does move out, making his way towards the third. His time to get spotted. Bearing in mind that Lancer, he's not taking gases at the national, not taking gases at the third base. He's going pure charge left. He's going pure charge, and charge is done. And charge is complete. With that, he can collapse all the tanks. And the tanks are going to be going down. He will hold, he will defend. Charge is a really good way to punish aggression, by the way, especially ground-based aggression. Oh, as Liberator does get into the main. But charge is just a very safe way, and it does punish your opponent for being out on the map and being active. So GuMiho gets punished, he has to back up. Lancer moving out. Lancer has gained map control. And GuMiho back at him, what does he have to defend? He has 1 tank on the high ground. Bunker is not yet done, but the tank will deter. GuMiho, he does defend, he does hold. Lancer does drop into the main. It drops in at the same time. Stalkers, they snipe the tank. Tank goes down, warping directly into the main as well. There are no tanks, but there's not many Zelds to work with. Does get 3 SCVs so far. Let's take down 3 SCVs. Oh! Here, Lancer does pull away. Behind this, he's on a full 3-way saturation. Now taking gases, so with these gases, he can afford further tech. Bay is on the way, so he's going charge into Colossus. And GuMiho, he was unable to punish Lancer. 4th base already on the way as well. The greed here is I say the greed. The opener was insane. And is getting away with so much because of that. But again, a really well thought out follow-up. Like, if GuMiho didn't push with his tanks when he did, like, he would have been in a much better position coming into the mid-game to then go for a 2-base timing. But because GuMiho pushed out early, then the answer did punish. Now GuMiho has Stim, Combat Shields +1. Is moving out. Still a terrifying composition. Let's just pull away. Has her allowance of force fields, not bad. Locking down the army. Catching out 2 of those Marauders. 1 does survive. Now the Colossus has arrived just in time. Colossus arrives just in time. Aqua's drop here towards left-hand side. Cashing out 6 workers. 6 first go down. It does pull away. Pulls away for oh my god. 10 probe is going to be going down here at the natural. Wouldn't mind shot going off. Wave reactions here out of Lancer. Ay. Now Lancer, he could still sustain some of these losses because of his greedier start. But now down to 61. GuMiho is now getting up to 3-base saturation. Lancer, the pressure is on. And he's just pushing out. He's just moving out at this point. Lancer, he is hurting economically, but he just warps in a wave of Zealots. There are 0 tanks. 0 tanks to defend. Nice force fields, locking down some of the bio. Widowmine's now moving in. Rollers, they tank some shots, they stim on forward. Oh my god, hopping up micro. Nicely done. Saves the Colossus. Does save it. And Lancer, he's done it. He's snowballing out control. He breaks through the main army, busts into the middle line as well. Boys are being pulled. There's 1 Colossus left. The Prism is a little bit too far back, but GG gets called, and Lancer, he will fight back. He'll put a point on the board. Whew. GG. GG. Well played. A very intense game number 3 here. Again, Lancer with a very unorthodox and very cheeky build. Remember, he went for a 3rd Nexus before 2nd Gateway, before Rover, before Twilight Council, before anything. It was insane just how quickly he had got it. From there, he rushed into charge. He stayed on 2 gases, and he was hoping that GuMiho would be aggressive. He was hoping that GuMiho would move out. Because GuMiho did move out early on, then Lancer was able to punish with that charge timing. With the early charge, he was able to take down 2 tanks and completely shut down GuMiho and gain map control and get away with his opener. GG. GG, well played. Honestly, really well done there by Lancer. Very unique build, but very well thought out when it came to the follow-up especially. And with that, we have a series. We have a back and forth. And now we are loading into Ultra Love. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Chinese Protoss player. God, they keep switching sides every time. Man. Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss, leading down in the series, but he does fight back, does put a point on the board. We'll see if he can tie things up. It is Lancer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, leading the series 2-1. And still one game away from advancing onto the grand finals. It is a GuMiho. Here we go. Players are going to be settling in. We're looking to calm things down. Early on, we just see Lancer scouting for proxies, making sure there's no shenanigans afoot. Likewise, GuMiho double gas. Okay, going back to what he does best. Double gas opener out of GuMiho. With this going for a faster factory, delayed TC, a much more aggressive start out of our Red Terran. Meanwhile, gate expand once again. So gate expand into Cybercore. Once again, a greedier start out of Lancer. And we'll see if he goes into a faster Nexus as well. Again, I can't imagine he'll go for the same opener 2 games in a row, and the same build 2 games in a row, but we'll see. We shall see. As the initial Reaper does move out. Lancer, he does hide his probe. Does keep his probe hidden. Over on the right hand side. Command center is on location. Reaper does poke in. Oh! Does threaten the mineral line. No major kills yet. And Lancer should be able to defend. Is losing 1 probe so far, just the one. Lancer will hold. Back at home, Lancer does come in with the probe scouts. It does confirm the faster factory. The Widowmine production as well, not Hellion. And this time we do have a standard response. Okay, so this time it is going to be tech structure before a 3rd expansion. Going for a Twilight Council, going for a 2nd gateway. So far 2 gate blink. We could go up to 3 gateways, 4 gateways, or we could stop here and then expand. So Lancer has options. With how wants to follow up. Meanwhile, we have 2 more Raxes on the way for GuMiho. Those are 2 more Raxes before the starport. So hyper aggression here from GuMiho. He can turn this into an all-in. Reaper is going to be zoned away. The 2 probes do go down. Reaper somehow survives in the corner of the map. This is going to be a bit of an earlier starport, so I'm not fully convinced this is a 2-base all-in, but oh no, never mind. No, we're gonna send it back. We're gonna send it. As Reaper gets another couple of probe kills, getting it to 4 already, getting it to 5. The positioning here is brutal. The probes, they can't get this around they're looking for, and that's gonna be 6 worker kills. Ay, that is brutal. Brutal damage that should not have happened. GuMiho just now saturating his natural. Here comes the add-on swap. Here comes the medevac support. Okay, so we're moving out. Behind this 2-gate blink, faster robo into a 3rd base. So relatively, I would say still greedy opener here out of Lancer, going to charge. Going into that 3rd. And with that, the charge should be ready here for the push. Should be ready for GuMiho, as GuMiho is still waiting for his medevacs. Again, this is a really peculiar build. Again, the starport is fast. Like, considering the opener going into a fast stim and fast combat shields, it is a much faster starport into add-on swap into reactor and medevacs. So it's almost like a 2-1-1 timing here. Almost. It's a 3-1-1, clearly. But yeah, this is something you don't really see too often. As GuMiho, yep, the medevacs have arrived. He's moving out. Basically what I'm getting at is that usually we wouldn't see a reactor on the factory, we'd see like a tech lab into tank production, but there was no tech lab, there was a reactor instead into add-on swap. So the factories are non, it's just not really a part of this. Yeah, there's no factory-based support. Nice force fields once again, locking down GuMiho. And Lancery's fine. Lancery's shutting this down. Picking up more Marauders. Going for the medevac as well. Nice snipe. Medevac goes down. We're down to 3 Marauders. Lancery wants that medevac, but he gets punished for it. In the end, is punished. Nice kiting there with the Marauders, looking for some shell. GuMiho does hold his own. Once again, Lancer pulling away, trying to make use of any kind of trick when he can. There you go, more Zealot Warpins. Lancer, he's getting up to 3 base economy. Again, no gases. Again, early charge. And again, this punishes aggression, and GuMiho is being aggressive. He's being in his face. Nice mind connections on those Zealots. Despite that, GuMiho bleeding out a lot of his player, a lot of his army. As GuMiho attempts to move out at the same time, third C is cancelled. Third is denied. Cyan claiming a fourth. GuMiho, I don't think he can really break this without some good mind connections. The connections are good. Oh no, the punish. Oh my god. Mind just going up, forcing a better friendly fire. And from here, it looks like GuMiho barely takes his flight, but more warpins are arriving. Lancer holds at the same time. The warpins were across the map. Causing a bit of chaos. Denying some mining. Going for another Zealot Warpin. As they'll stay catch up more Marauders. And GuMiho races back home. And Lancer holds. Lancer, he holds on. He denied the third base 5 SCV kills, and Lancer is getting his 4th up and running. Again, he's getting out of hand, getting out of control. Still very low gas count, very low gas available here to him, but he's just going to mass charge anyway. +1 is on the way. Immortal as well. And GuMiho, he has to be active like this. He has to push out. And Lancer, depending on where he spends his warpins, he could be in trouble. Back into the main. Nice control. Does save the Zealots. Gets into the mineral line once again. Boys are being pulled as if he's going to be going down. GuMiho, he commits in. Does go with the sim. There are less Zealots here to defend. Uh-oh. Alright, let's charge lots. Lancer just trying to buy time for extra warpins. Force was a solid friendly fire as well. That was what, 4 Marines going down to the Widow Mine. That was brutal. Lancer is holding. GuMiho finally claiming his 3rd. Finally getting his 3rd base up and running. Lancer needs a little bit more time. He needs extra warpins. I believe the prism did go down. Oh. It's going down, I should say. Blink is done. Once again, catching out the Metamax. Nice blinks because he gets 1. Takes down a medevac. Trades well against some Marauders. And right now there's a lot of pressure on GuMiho here to try to do some kind of economic damage. Does waddle into the third. Oh. Using one probe. One probe goes down. Here can respond to the army. As he does stim in, forcing a recall even. Everett gets depowered a couple of gateways as well. Nice moves here from GuMiho. Catching Lancer out of position. And moving from here, takes down the Twilight Council, not bad. Marauders trying to engage. Lancer, he's in trouble. He attempts to surround the army, locks down some of the bio. Marauders doing a lot in the back line. 3 Immortals, I should say. Doing a lot in the back line, focusing on as many Marauders as they can. GuMiho bleeding out a lot of supply. Likewise, he's also running out of energy on these medevacs. Running out of energy. Oh. Once again, San trying to focus on as many Marauders as he can. Oh, Maisha going off, takes down the Observer. And Lancer is holding. He's holding on. Repowers his Robo. Bay's on the way for Colossus. Still very intense. GuMiho is just not stopping. Oof. Maybe he should. Use out a couple of medevacs. Expensive losses there for GuMiho. Third base fully operational. GuMiho, he has a high SCV count, but he is heavily oversaturated. He needs a 4th CC. He needs a 4th base. Matches are going off. The boys are being pulled to defend. And GuMiho, he will focus down all 3 Marauders. Immortals, goddamn. You know what I mean. The Immortals are going to be going down. It's going to cost him 17 SCVs. 21 SCVs. And Lancer is not stopping. Going in once again. Now you could argue that despite losing all those workers, we still have, like, I guess, ideal saturation on 3 bases. But GuMiho, he does need a 4th. As GuMiho is running out of steam. Down to just overall 1 base economy. Prison back into the main. And GuMiho, he just sends it across the map. So is Lancer. Lancer warping into the main. Likewise hitting the 3rd CC. Forcing GuMiho all in. The Colossus does kite back. Oh my god, takes down a lot of Marines. Oh no, bit of miscontrol, bit of a misclick. Lancer panicking towards the end, but here come the warp ins. They'll say warp in. GG gets called. Lancer, he defends back at home. He attacks across the map, and Lancer ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. We are going to the ace match. Once again, a very intense back and forth. Once again, we had Lancer opening up charge, and this is honestly, I feel like, a really solid way to play against GuMiho. As you've seen here in this game and in this series, GuMiho is hyper aggressive, and very often he's pushing, whether it's pre-stim or he's just hyper committed here to drop play and to committing to moving out across the map. And going into earlier charge does keep you safe against that sort of stuff. It allows you to take some more efficient trades earlier on, just purely off of mineral income as well. And so far we've had some very nice defenses here from Lancer, trading very efficiently and surviving, right, and getting to longer game states. And GuMiho, he has to calm down a little bit. He has to calm things down, especially against this kind of style from Lancer. Otherwise, he's just kind of playing into Lancer's hands. Playing into his hands. And here we go. When getting into the ace match and spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, being forced into the ace match. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing himself. Going teamless, it is Lancer. Here we go. Yes, we are settling in and calming things down. And we'll see if GuMiho goes for a more economic start. Again, GuMiho has been hyper aggressive in these past, throughout the entire series here, and I do really like how Lancer has been able to adjust to him, has been able to adapt. But now we're loading into Frostline. Frostline is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Long rushes by ground is a longer rush distance, and I would hope to see GuMiho take things slower here. Go. Marine Marauder medevac. That is like the kind of bread and butter of Terran. Like unless you're asking for a mech. Like, how dare GuMiho not make Cyclones and Hellions? True. GuMiho, he is one of the few players out there that is willing to play mech in this matchup. That is, you're not wrong when it comes to that. Does like to mix it in, and does it quite well at the highest level of play. Loading into a larger map, I wouldn't actually be opposed to mech here, I suppose. Wouldn't be opposed to it, but we'll see. For now, we do have a single gas opener, so we're going for a more economic start. GuMiho going for a Rax expand into reactor. We have our Twilight Council opener out of Lancer. Not going for a faster third. So now we're settling in. As GuMiho setting up for a 1-1-1. Going for the add-on swap. From here we can go into Reactored Hellion, into committed Hellion production, we can go into Reactored Widowmine. For now, Hellion's on the way. We'll see if he commits. As GuMiho, he is once again going for a very early move out. Okay, so talk about early pushes. I'm like, yo, maybe GuMiho should calm down. Meanwhile, GuMiho is like, you know what? I should hit before any upgrades at all. True. Here we go. So it is 6 Marines. 6 Marines do waddle out across the map. Back at home, there is a safety shield battery. Lance is fine. Lance is fine. If he skipped the shield battery, then he'd be in trouble here, but he did open up safely. GuMiho pokes in. Shield battery is revealed, and GuMiho, oh god, he's going for it. He's going for the mineral line. Oh, gonna get one. He cannot, no. GuMiho, he will get one probe. Hellions, a rush. Oh my god, they rush past the probes. No, they're lighting up. The probes are lighting up, and now damage is being done, and now it's worth it. The initial Marine run by was not, but the Hellions, they roast up 5 workers. Whew, and he's not done. Going Reactored Hellion into Reactored Widowmine. Widowmine drop is on the way. A decent start for GuMiho. Did cost him a lot of Marines early on. That is true. That is going to lessen his mid game. That is going to weaken his mid game. But alas, GuMiho popping off, shuts down the Adept, dropping into the main. So towards the main base. GuMiho boosting pass. Does boost pass, will unload. Medevac is going to be targeted down. That's going to be 4 Widowmines headed for the mineral line here. Lancer does pull away. So far, so good. Oh, god. Does pull away. Despite that, 4 probes going to be going down. But only 4. The Observer is here, and with that, Lancer does clean up. Now, I say only 4. Throughout the course of this game, it is going to be 9 probe kills here. 9 workers have gone down. This damage does add up over time. Lancer gets a counterattack. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have a 3-1-1 setup. The tank count is amassing. And what's important here is what we mentioned previously. GuMiho, he's not pushing with his early tanks. He's being more defensive. He's setting up to receive what comes next. You know, Lancer, he's on 4-gate blink. Oh my god. So 4-gate blink Stalker out of Lancer. The Prism is on the way. So far, nice repairs here on the bunker. Nice repair. Lancer going for a late third base in favor of this gateway explosion. Lancer, he has gained map control, but Lancer, he needs to trade with this arm. Or I say trade, he needs to pick off tanks, he needs to pick off bunkers. He needs to gain value with this. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Alright, going for the bunker. One more volley. Bunker goes down. And going for the tank as well. Not bad. Nice control, saving some of those stalkers. Does blink back. Oh my, oh, the target firing though. And that's target firing there out of GuMiho. Picking up 4 stalkers for 8 SCVs. GuMiho does reposition. Lancer keeps warping in. And Lancer looks like he wants to dive. Oh, does blink in. Bleeds out 2, 3 stalkers. Oh god, the stalker, oh no! Stalkers get punished. That's one, another 4 stalkers going down. As the Liberator does arrive. Heading into the bases. Does it into the bases. Does threaten the natural. Stalkers that catch a couple of SCVs. Now, on one hand, at least Lancer's on 3 bases, that is true, but because of all the economic damage, his probe count is still very low. It's a very low probe count. And of course, because of the initial blink-based opener, now this time there is no charge. This time there's no way to punish GuMiho for pushing. I say that does drop into the natural. Does drop in. We'll delay some reinforcements, so GuMiho, he sends everything across the map. GuMiho, he breaks out. And again, GuMiho looking a lot more comfortable here compared to the previous games. GuMiho pushing in, forcing back the stalkers, catching out one of the immortals. Again, the 4-gate blink aggression of Lancer just wasn't worth it. Just did not do enough damage. He needed more, and he didn't get it. Did not get it. Tanks and Liberators, they zone away the main army. Robo gets Z-powered. Natural's under fire. And GuMiho just rallying everything across the map. Oh, here comes the dive. Oh, blinks in. He does get one of the tanks. He gets 1 tank. Only 1 tank. The Liberator survives. The second tank as well. GG gets called, and GuMiho, he will snowball out of control. He will take the series 3-2. He will advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, GuMiho. He will claim the series. He will advance on. A very intense back and forth, and shout out to Lancer for adjusting and adapting to GuMiho, even having some quirky builds as well. Remember, was that one game where Lancer went for the 3rd Nexus before tech, before 2nd gateway. It was crazy. That was on Whispers of Gold. That was the highlight for me when it comes to the series. And again, just really charge heavy play, punishing the aggression of GuMiho. Unfortunately, this time did decide to open up 4-gate blink, and it's such a committed way to play. Players are curious, 4-gate blink Stalker, it delays your third quite heavily in favor of warping across the map, in favor of breaking your opponent and dealing critical damage. I'm referring to sniping tanks, sniping bunkers, sniping tech, getting SCV kills. And he was able to get a tank, he was able to get a bunker, but he was punished so hard. He was beating out so many stalkers in the process where it just didn't become worth it. GG. GG, well played. Again, in general, 4-gate blink Stalker has been phased out of the meta and phased out of popularity amongst the players. It isn't really seen too often anymore, just because players have gotten so good at defending against it. It was very meta and very trendy a year ago, but because Terrans became so used to, so accustomed to defending against it and shutting it down, it's not as viable anymore. Likewise, maps are also influenced as well. But with that, GG well played. GuMiho will take the series 3-2, and now we are getting ready for our next best of 5 of the broadcast. We're getting ready for Scarlett versus Jieshi. Let's go. Let us go. Again, Scarlett has been MIA, has been missing in action for quite some time. Of course, spending some time in China and spending some time abroad and studying as well. And because of that, we just haven't seen as much Scarlett when it comes to StarCraft. A lot of that also, I'm sure, comes down to EWC, waiting for it to be announced. It's similar to Australia, where Australia also came back to compete last week, or 2 weeks ago now at this point. Once EWC was confirmed, I'm sure Scarlett is maybe doing something similar here as well. As this is her first time competing in quite some time. We'll see if this trend continues coming into qualifiers for Dallas, for example, or I guess no qualifiers, I guess that's an open sign up to be fair, but coming into other big online qualifiers. RSL is going to be the big one. Likewise, we'll see if maybe there's an invite from Home Story Cup. We'll see, as Home Story Cup is also on the horizon. But first things first, how does she compare to Jieshi as we jump into game 1 of our fresh best of 5? And spawning in the spawning in the bottom left hand corner of ley lines, we have the Canadian Zerg player herself, the Blue Zerg, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have our opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself. It is Jieshi. We go. Jieshi. As we are going to be settling in. And Jieshi, another one of these players that we haven't really seen too much of in recent times. Lancer and Jieshi, I would say, are the top 2 players, or at least top 2 Protoss players in China. I'll say top 3 alongside Coffee when it comes to players overall. But again, Kofi has been a little bit less active, Lancer, Jieshi as well. Again, a big part of that, I'm sure, is just lack of events, but now that EWC has been confirmed, I'm sure they're all coming back. I'm sure they're all jumping in. Of course, Jieshi and Lancer, I believe after this event, they didn't join a new team. It was like JGG Esports or something, which I approve of. Hold on. I need to find the name of their team. JGG, that's it. Not JG. But JDG. JD Gaming, essentially. Which we appreciate. We do approve. Behind the Scarlett going hatch gas pool into an earlier third hatchery. Okay. Earlier third. Now this will impact the queen count early on of Scarlett. As you can see, only 1 queen is being built instead of 2. So it sacrifices 1 queen in favor of a third, or in favor of a faster third base. Likewise, I'm sure to be able to avoid this, did only pull 2 into gas, not 3. So extra mineral income, once again, to be able to squeeze that out. And likewise, to get a faster, or I say quote unquote faster, second queen. So interesting adjustment here early on. Likewise, now the link speed is done, or is being researched, we pull out of gas. So as a result of this opener, faster third base, faster larva, at least faster than normal. We have our Stargate opener out of Jieshi. And Jieshi, he is one to mix things up at times. Is more of a standard player more than anything, but there we go. Void Ray opener. It has been a while. Okay, show us what you got. Is going to be a Void Ray opener here out of Jieshi. From here, can hunt down overlords, deny vision, deny scouting, and we'll see what exactly we're hiding. As it does threaten the shade, pulls out. We have confirmation Void Ray opener into a Twilight Council before third expansion, so hyper aggression here from Jieshi. From here, oh, the Overlord comes in with a scout. The Overlord does confirm the Twilight Council. Yeah, important scout here from Scarlett. Now she knows this is most likely Glaive Adepts. Most likely Glaives. Gateway explosions on the way, going up to 4 gateways before expanding. Now remember, this is not an all-in. There is going to be a third, but this is still very aggressive. Because of this build, the third base is going to be delayed. The blink timing is going to be delayed. A +1 forge is going to be delayed as well, all in favor of Glaive Adepts. Because of this, this needs to trade well. This has to get damage done. We're looking for economic damage. We're looking for just trading well with Lings. As a reminder, Scarlett is more or less aware of what's happening. Back at home, droning up. There we go, safety Roach Warren at almost 420, at 419. Building up roaches. Yes, building up roaches. Likewise, Adepts are amassing back at home for Jieshi. We'll soon pull the trigger. Scarlett confirms. Yeah, it does confirm. Technically, this opener, based on what Scarlett scouted, could have been DTs. It could have been a Dark Shrine. Scarlett is now fully aware. You can see Scarlett ready to wall off at the natural. Drone is in position. Roach production has begun. We have a Spine Crawler here at the third base. Queens have a mass as well. Scarlett did cut works at 57 to join up quite heavily. And just as a buy time for those roaches, Adepts, they will commit to the shade. They're going for the Queen. Drones pull away, transfuse on the Queen. Queen just barely survive. Tanks 2 volleys. And has bought enough time for the roaches. Again, we shade towards the natural. Oh, Scarlett barely walls off in time. That was very, oh no, was close. But the HP is low. And Adepts, they're going for the wall. They bring it down. Jieshi does bust in. Does pick up a couple of workers. 6 drones going down so far. 7 drones shades into the main. Oh, and this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. This is becoming too much. No. 14 drones going down. 15, 16 workers falling. And at this point, this is critical damage. This is what Jieshi was looking for, even more than what he had hoped for. And back at home behind this, we have Immortal Production. Now, Scarlett has to make a choice. Do we try to recover economically? Do we counterattack? The problem here, there is a lair, but there is no roach speed. So we do have a Hydroden on the way instead. Roaches, they can maybe threaten to move out, but I don't really see these roaches doing much across the map. Not anymore. As Adepts, they keep shading in. Oh, no. They keep shading into the bases, getting 1, getting 2 more drones. That's going to be, what, 19 in total, 18 in total. And we are not done. Getting up to 22. 23. Up to 24. 24 drone kills. Ay. And again, initially it was a solid defense. Initially things were going well until Jieshi broke down the front door. Until Jieshi broke into the bases. Behind this, Infestation bits, Scarlett rushing into Lurker Tech. Rushing into Lunkers, into Hive Tech. All is on the way. From here, we do see as Scarlett's trying to rush in towards Lurker Tech, we have Jieshi rushing into Skytoss. We have Storm on the way, Fleet Beacon as well into Skytoss. Honestly, a really solid setup here from Jieshi. At this point, he can do whatever he wants. He could just take a 4th base, go into double robo into Colossus, into a ground base push instead. Here, Jeshi's being more secure by taking up into Skytoss instead. This will give Scarlett more time to recover though. Because we're taking up just like Scarlett is, it means that Scarlett is safe, it means that Scarlett is in no danger, and Scarlett can drone up and recover and have a chance at coming back in this game. So it goes down. And it's Jieshi getting it fourth, throwing down more site defense. I think I would like this a little bit more if Jieshi did have a second Stargate. So the fleet beacon is now done. Where's the mothership? Where's the mothership? Where's Tempest production? I mean, Jeshi's in the dark. Jieshi doesn't fully know what Scott's up to. I mean, did see the Hydrogen, so can assume Lurker Tech. If that's the case, we should be seeing Tempest production, but for now we have more gates on the way instead. Getting into more gateways. Here comes the mothership. Scarlett is going to be threatening a run by a counterattack. Has to trade out these roaches. Gets a couple of probes. Gets a pylon. Not bad. Again, these roaches do not scale well into the late game. So Scarlett does want to get rid of them. Takes off all these zealots. At the same time, charge also do catch out a queen. As I'll say, respond. And I do think that at this point, I'm not too fond of Jeshi's position here. I mentioned before, like, where was the second Stargate? There is still no second Stargate, right? It's like, at this point, now we have carrier production. We could have started Tempest much earlier. And Scarlett is remaxing. Scarlett is remaxing despite losing how many drones? 25 workers at the start of the game, which should be game-winning damage. Scarlett is recovering. Doesn't have the best army against this yet. How many lurkers do we have? 4. Ooh, only 4 lurkers. That's not a lot. So Scarlett's still vulnerable. Jieshi moving in. Pushing into the lunkers. That's a lot of immortals. And then we'll say break through the lurker line. Storm here on the Hydras as well. And with that, Scarlett's main army does crumble. At the same time, Zealot's take down the expansion. But where's the support for this army? Where's the prism? Where are the reinforcements? Jieshi, maybe overextending here. Does have one storm. Is also trickling in. I mean, thankfully, there are no lurkers waiting for Jieshi. Still holding on to the storm. Still holding on. Decent storm of the roaches. Storm goes off. Likewise collapsing on that first Archon. One Archon, one Immortal goes down. And again, where's the support for this army? Again, Jieshi overextends. There's just nothing to support the Immortals. And Jieshi, he's in trouble here. Bled out a lot of expensive units. That was 5 Immortals going down, 3 Archons, 4 High Templar. Expensive losses. And Scarlett, she's in control. She's in control of this game. Had a rough start, but Jieshi had a lackluster follow-up to that opener. As you mentioned, did a lot of damage, but what did he do with that advantage? Didn't do much. Stuck with a ground army. Went into Mass Immortal, that's true, but didn't hit an earlier timing. Did wait for Skytos, kind of. Did wait for a mothership. If Jeshi's goal was to commit into Immortal Storm Archon, then I do think there should have been an earlier push. Earlier move outs. Regardless, Scarlett does counterattack and knocks down all the zealots. Jieshi coming in from behind. But again, this is just buying time. Like Scarlett just trading out roaches, buying more time. Buying time for what? For lurkers. Lurkers are building up. Trying to catch out the army. Going for the mothership. Mothership is sniped. Nice snipe on the mothership. Jieshi is still stuck on 4 bases. Scarlett on a solid economy. 88 workers. 5 bases. 6 bases even. That is a lot of storms. That is true. But with a high enough lurker count, Scarlett should be okay. It depends on the lurkers, though. We have how many? 4. Still only 4 lurkers. Lurker count is low. Jieshi can still pull this off. Getting up to 6, soon to be 7 lurkers. Oh, Jieshi overextended with the zealots. We need those storms. Storms so far they zone. High Templar. Oh, they're gonna take a lot of hits. Take a lot of damage. Lurker count getting lower. Down to three lurkers. Now is the time. Jieshi can move in. Only 3 lurkers. A couple of storms would be enough, but Jieshi doesn't see how many lurkers there are. Doesn't know how few there are for Scarlett. Jieshi rotating. Heads towards the center expansion. Scarlett trying to keep up. Storm in the mineral line. Ooh, getting a little bit wasteful with his storms. Has to be careful. We get some decent connections. This goes down. Lurker count is getting higher and higher from what once was 3, now to 6. Nidus across the map. Letting Roach run by as well. Oh, brutal storm. Jieshi should be able to hold on. Nidus into main. Lurkers, they bust into the main. And we're going for a base trade at this point. Main base is going to go down. At the same time, Jieshi knocking down the fringe bases. Pushing in. Small Hydra's piling on that as well. The Nidus Storm is going to be sniped. That means there's no way out of this. Ooh, the army's trapped. The army is going to be trapped here in the main. And the base trade continues from here. Oh. Catching out drones. More importantly, catching out some reinforcements, at least attempting to. Scarlett does sneak out a couple of drones. Bottom right is being taken. Bottom right is being taken. Jieshi rotating over towards that, or towards the linear third. No detection? No shot. No detection. The one lurker does force a morphin. Getting free damage. Checking any vision here. Okay, there's an observer. There's one observer now joining the main army. Well, this one lurker will buy time. Oh, back up Nidus. Did have the attempted backup Nidus. There we go. Jieshi turns back around. How many lurkers? 6. Six lurkers. It's 1 fungal. The angle attack is going to be a little bit awkward here. There's plenty of storms. We'll see how Jieshi moves in. Storm takes down 1 lurker, down to 5. 5 lurkers left. Scarlett moving in. Again, show us their storms. Once again, just grazing the army. Ooh, there's Cloak. Fungal reveals at least the Archon, but the storms are brutal. And Jieshi can take this fight. GG gets called. Jieshi crushes the main army, and Jieshi takes game number 1. Whew, GG. A very intense game, and a really rough start for Scarlett, which is why I'm impressed. Remember, at the start of the game, Scarlett lost 25 drones. Scarlett was dead. Scarlett was dead at the start of the game. But Jieshi had a lackluster follow-up, is what I will say. Either we go for like a committed timing with a ground army, or we be greedy tech-wise and rush into Skytoss. Didn't do either one. It was very middle of the road from Jieshi, so that allowed Scarlett to actually re-drone, recover, max out as well. It was still a rough road to recovery, and Scarlett still didn't have the best economy to get into Hydra Lurker Viper. Viper's never researched, and the lurker count never really exceeded 7, I want to say. Like, I think at most we ever had like 7 or 8 lurkers. Like, the lurker count was always very, very low there for Scarlett, just because Scarlett was still trying to recover from there, and in the end Jieshi still barely did take it. But shout out to Scarlett for forcing the base trade and for causing a lot of chaos, and for, again, almost fully recovering from a really rough start. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Frostline. Whew, okay. Again, for those that missed the opener, it was a Void Ray opener into Glaive Adepts, and the Glaive Adepts, they popped off. It was crazy. But here we go. We're now getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have the blue Protoss, or the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg from the land of Canada, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the red Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is Jieshi. Here we go. Again, Jieshi having a very strong start in game 1. And we'll see how we adjust here in game number 2 as Scarlett does move out with a hatch block. Let's go. Drone is sent across the map, and the goal here is to throw down the hatchery to block and to delay the expansion. So far, hatchery back at home. So hatch first out of Scarlett, no spawning pool, no gases. Drone does arrive, and Scarlett going for the hatch block as well. So hatch before pool. Again, this is not an aggressive build. This is an economic build. This is designed to delay the economy of Jieshi. In that sense, it's economic. There's no rush. There we go. Gas pool now being taken after the 2 initial hatcheries. From there, Jieshi, he overreacts. He does overrespond, a bit of a misread. Jieshi throws down 2 gateways into Char, or into that Zealot. Jieshi does not pull the boys. So that means that this hatchery will take even longer. I mean, I should say, because Jieshi doesn't pull the boys, that means he needs that second gateway. He needs the second gateway, needs to spend his money in some way. So I would say this is ideal for Scarlett. It's ideal. Now, what's important is that Scarlett now has to survive the counterattack. We have 2 Zealots and soon to be 2 Adepts, so 4 units in total. It can be quite difficult to deal with this, especially without link speed. The answer is Spine Crawler. It is a really extreme response, but very necessary here, especially if Scarlett wants a drone. So Spine Crawler's on the way. Double Zealot, double Adepts making its way across the map. She does threaten, shading into the main. Does threaten the shade. So far, Scarlett is keeping up. Again, Spine Crawler is ready. Lings force to chase. And from here, Scarlett can drone. Scarlett, she's droning, saturating. Is stuck on 2 bases. You can see here, Jieshi on patrol, ensuring that Scarlett cannot expand. So drone is zoned away. Scarlett waiting for link speed. Behind this Twilight Council opener out of Jieshi. Twilight Council. This could be Glaive Adepts again. I mean, considering how successful Glaive Adepts were last game, it would make sense to do that again. Drone is caught. But here comes link speed. And Scarlett will surround. We'll take down the initial 2 Adepts. The other 2 come in to delay. They do zone. Yep, Glaives once again. I say once again, this is a different build. This is straight up Twilight Council opener as opposed to last game, which was a hidden Glaive build with a Stargate first. So this is more blatant. And there we go with the Overlord Scout. Scarlett does confirm. Behind this, Roach Warren's already on the way. Spinecrawler is going to help. Scarlett still has a bit of time to drone, but will soon have to focus purely on Ling and Roach production. Likewise, yep, getting ready to fully wall off. It's a bit of a haphazard wall, but a wall nonetheless. As Adepts are moving out. As Adepts move out, Lings, they do hit the third. Actually, they're getting some damage done. Taking down the pylon. Jieshi moving in. Jieshi does move in, trading with the roaches. Does cancel the shade. Oh. And so far, Scarlett does fully wall off. They can just focus on the Adepts. Adepts, they commit. Scarlet lair is done. Roach speed is now on the way. And so far, a solid defense here from Scarlet. This time the walls are solid. Oh! And this time does wall off, and so far Scarlet, she hasn't lost any drones. So far, much cleaner defense. I say so far just because the game one did look similar to this. And then Adepts broke in anyway. But not this time. Not this time. And the most important thing here, as opposed to game one, is that because of Roach speed, Scarlet can soon counterattack. Roach speed does allow Scarlet to be active on the map. Chasing down the roaches. Roach speed still halfway done. Jieshi trying to transition out of this, but this has been a rougher start for Jieshi. This time, how many drones went down? One. One drone did fall. That was the would-be third base worker as well. So this is a rougher start here for our Protoss. We have +1 on the way. We have Charge just now finishing up, getting into Immortal production. But this is a shaky follow-up. As we have a massive gateway explosion. This is looking more and more like a 3-base all-in. I mean, there's only one gas at the natural. There are no gases here at the third. Getting up to how many gates? 5. Sorry, 8. So it's going to be a 3-base, 8-gate all-in with mass charge lots. Prism is on the way to reinforce across the map. And Jieshi is about to commit. Now, behind this, Scarlet going into Roach Hydra should be okay. It depends on when and where she stops droning. So far is on 3-base saturation, 69 workers. Nice. Hive is on the way, a little bit greedy here, but is now taking up, and I do want to say that Scarlet can get away with this greed. Lurker Den on the way. And here comes Jieshi. Ooh, Scarlet did just make a wave of drones. That's a little bit concerning. Drones are not what we want. Scarlet, though, does counterattack Roaches. They slip by, they slip in. Yeah, the wall's not a wall. Ooh. Does depower the gateways, going for the Robo as well. And Robo gets depowered, barely, no more Immortal production. And Jieshi commits. We've been here before, we're going for the base trade. We have Roaches in the natural, Roaches in the main. At the same time, Jieshi just pushing towards the third. No lurkers, and minimal Roaches to defend. The Hydras are exposed. Thankfully, no storm, no splash damage. The force field is almost working against the Protoss. But looks down the Hydras. Hydras are going down one after the other. Brutal pickups. And Jieshi going for the kill, going for the throw to take down the mineral line, but has to ignore the space, has to keep going. Has to keep going for the kill. At the same time, Roach is still wreaking havoc across the map. 14 probe kills, boys are being pulled. These Zealots are wasting the DPS. They have to move in. And they do arrive. A nice whole position micro here on those drones. The Zealots are doing nothing. The whole position micro, the Zealots, they're derping out. Oh god. Now pushing forward, but nice control there from Scarlet across the map. Depowers almost every single gateway. So no more reinforcements. Meanwhile, drones, they do body block. Boys are being pulled, zealots are going down, and Jieshi's running out of steam. There we go, warping in 3 zealots at a time. Only 3. Oh my god, the recall gets denied. Yeah, no recall either. Scar just needs a little bit more time. Roaches are still active across the map, still picking up more pylons, more gateways. Still a very clutch hold. Still very intense. We're in 1 zealot at a time. Let's go. Boys are being pulled. Scarlett down to 3 hydras, a handful of roaches. Go for the prism. Up, the prism does go down. Prism gets sniped. Hydras, they kite back. They barely kite back in time, but without Scarlett is barely holding on as well. And again, if it wasn't for the hold position micro here earlier, or even the minute details here to control towards the end, I mean, that could have been game. That could have been game then and there. Scarlett down to 2 drones. But still has roaches across the map, still has an army. We have 1 gateway powered. Jieshi does have bottom right going for a Stargate. Uh-oh. Stargate's on the way. When it comes to the army size here, we have 1 Immortal, 1 Zealot, and 1 Adept. We have 3 units for Jieshi. Jieshi does have a bank, does have, can make a Void Ray. A Void Ray could end the game, but the Void Ray is being found. The Stargate's being found. And without the Stargate, there is no Void Ray. Without the Void Ray, there's no win. Like, Scarlett's down to, again, 6 drones. Barely an economy. Could not deal with Sky Toss, but yep, there we go. Does deny the Stargate. Everything's flashing red. There are 2 Archons in the main. Oh. If the army comes together, 2 Archons, an Immortal, an Adept, a Zealot, there is potential. Especially with these roaches going down. Uh-oh. Roaches have to get the hell out of here. The army is consolidating, everything coming together. Roach getting caught out. Okay, 8 roaches. And both roaches, they barely survive. So we have 8 roaches. I think Jieshi wins this head on. Especially with how low HP some of these roaches are. So, you know, Jieshi does spot the army. Oh! Scarlett looking for a way in. Jieshi has mining as well. Scarlett's getting up to 1 base economy and joining up that much faster. 1 zealot goes down. Massive eagle. Gets 1 zealot. Every unit counts. Every unit does count. Which is they threaten to dive. Brutal force fields. Catching out 1, 2, 3 roaches. 3 roaches go down. Ay, ay, ay. How many roaches are left? 5. 5 roaches remaining. Jieshi doesn't know this. Oh, this is risky. Jieshi splitting off his army. He's looking for the base. He doesn't know. He doesn't know where the hatchery is. He doesn't know what base has been taken. Another roach goes down. Jieshi does find a couple of drones. And there's mining in the main. And Jieshi is going for the main base. With a Zealot with an Archon. Scarlett racing back home. 7 Hydras in production. And that's every turn going down here. But Jieshi doesn't know. He doesn't know there's another full mining base. Oh, Hydra gets 1. Hydra goes down. I feel like Jieshi should be active with the entire army just because he has a recall. And there we go. Now he moves out. I'm sure Jieshi was worried for a counterattack. She was worried about a run by. Another Hydra falls. Down to 7. I mean, still a hefty army. Ooh, Scarlett sees her target. She does see a lone Archon and a sentry. Scarlett moving in. Do we go for the recall? Uh-oh. No shield battery either. It's not powered. Scarlett waddling in. Yeah, there's no recall. Recall's a little bit too late. Archon goes down. Massive pickoff. Takes down the Archon. Scarlett on one base. Takes down the Zealot. Still very tense. So do slow things down. When it comes to tech, now there's no Temple Archives. No way to reinforce with more High Templar. It's only Zealots. Only Zealots at this point here. For Jieshi. Zealots and Sentries. Stalkers, I suppose, as well. There's no blink. Again, Jieshi doesn't know. Jieshi still has not seen bottom right. Breaking out onto the map. Scarlett dragged back into her main. But Scarlett, there we go. GG gets caught. Jieshi sees the full mining base, sees all the Hydras, and Scarlett will tie things up 1-1. Whew, GG. Aye, aye, aye. GG, well played. A very, very intense game. It came down to the wire there. There were definitely moments for Jieshi. The biggest thing, though, Jieshi did not see that base towards the bottom right until the very end. If it was seen earlier, then Jieshi could have denied mining. At some point, it could have denied mining, could have been more active, could have been more aggressive there, but alas, it went by undetected, unscouted, got fully up and running, and that allowed Scarlett to be able to afford Hydras, to be able to afford an army, to be able to afford something. GG. Whew, GG, well played with that. The series gets tied up 1-1. We are going into game number 3. Going into game 3, and we'll see how this story ends. Or I guess we'll see who takes the lead in the series as we are jumping into Ultra Love. Let's go. Oh my god. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Canadian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the Red Protoss, being forced into a tied series. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is Jieshi. There we go. Was best of 5? Yes, best of 5. Best of 5 series. We can go the distance, back to the distance. Oh, hello, Aeronautic. Hello. ¿Qué tal? Bienvenidos. Whew. Ay. As we're calming down, we're settling in. Again, both game 1 and game 2, Jieshi did rely upon Glaive Adepts in some way, shape, or form. I would say in game number 2, the Glaive Adepts, they weren't really worth it. If you recall, Scarlett had a very strong defense against said Glaive Adepts. And then things turned out and ended up in a base trade. Things got very chaotic. But we'll see where our game leads us this time. As do we continue to rely on Glaives, or do we take a different approach? So far, Gate expanded to Cybercore, standard opener out of our Protoss player, out of Jieshi. Skull likewise, hatch gas pool. This time, no hatch block. This time, there's no block. This time, no shenanigans. So just stretching, embracing the series. Let's go. Now Cybergore's finishing up, and we'll see what tech choice Jieshi does decide to go for. Again, game 1 was Stargate opener into Glaives. Game 2 was a straight up Twilight Council into Glaives. Game 3, Stargate once again. Now, previously in this series, if you missed out on game 1, it was a Void Ray opener. It was Void Rays to hunt down the Overlords and then to hide the Twilight Council follow-up. We could go Void Ray once again, or we could go for a standard opener into an Oracle. Keep an eye on Jieshi. I do like the idea of going Void Ray just for mind games, even if it isn't for Glaives, even if it's just Void Ray into Oracle into a third base, just because of how the series has played out. I do think it would be a good way to try to, again, get into the head of Scarlett. But we'll see how Jieshi will approach this. Meanwhile, Scarlett, being very active when it comes to scouting, does go in, does confirm the Stargate initially. Scarlett droning, saturating, looking solid. And we'll see what comes out first. As it is the Oracle, okay. As Scarlett does confirm, it is going to be the Oracle opener, so everything's looking normal, everything's looking standard. This time there's no hidden tech, this time no hidden structure. This time Oracle into a third, or triple Oracle into a third base, into most likely Blink Stalker. For the first time this series, Jieshi is playing standard. And I'm sure Scarlett can breathe a sigh of relief. Be like, whew, okay, we can play some StarCraft. Let's go. We can play some StarCraft. Now, as we load into Ultra Love, we can talk about the map a little bit as well. Ultra Love has a short rushes to spike ground. It is not uncommon to see German taxis, Roach all-ins, Lin Queen all-ins, Queen walks across the map. We have seen a lot of aggression in the past. Twilight Council is going to be thrown down. This is a bit of an earlier Twilight Council. I don't see a Forge yet. The longer this goes on without a Forge, the higher chances is of Glaive Adepts. Yep, gateways being thrown down. This does feel like Glaives. Now, because there is no Void Ray, there's a higher chance that Scarlett can still come across this. Oracle pokes in, Oracle is zoned back. Overlord someone in position, sees gateways, but doesn't see the tech yet. And show us charge, not Glaive Adepts, charge instead. Okay, you have my attention. No gases here at the natural. With this going for what looks to be a charge all in. We'll see how many gateways get thrown down. So far we're getting up to 4 gates, but we can, I would imagine, go up to 6, potentially even up to 8. But this is gonna hit quite hard, quite fast. And ideally catching Scarlett unawares. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have a Roach Warren. So safety Roach Warren out of Scarlett. So thankfully, safety Roach Warren. Thankfully, Scarlett is not going Ling Hydra. If Scarlett were to skip Roaches and to skip Banelings, then this would be a very tough hold. But we're still keeping an eye out for the gateways. Still only 4. So only 4 gateways. Saturation underway. Forge gets thrown down. The lack of Forge did to me feel like an all-in, but now that there's a Forge on the way, now we're working towards upgrades. Now we're working towards a later timing instead. Interesting. Because of the Forge, it feels like we're going to go for the early charge timing into Archons, into Storm, into a longer game state. I don't think this is intended to kill, but intended to main. As a charge is done, Zelsa rush across the map. Roach production underway. Roaches are not ready yet. Yeah, the Roaches are not ready. Zelsa do hit the mineral line. They hit the third. Oh! Coming in for a surround. 1 Queen goes down. Does get 1. Gets a 2nd Queen. Nice sacrifice of the Oracle, but that's going to be 3 Queens falling. Nice damage here from those charges from Jieshi. Takes down 3 Queens. Takes down 3 workers. Rallies everything across the map. Bleeds out a sentry. And Scarlett will hold. Will defend. I will force this back. At a cost though. 4 drones fall, 3 queens. And remember, as you mentioned, because of the Forge, because of the follow-up, this was not necessarily an all-in, but did do a decent amount of damage. From here, Immortals, massive gateway explosion. Temple Archives for Archons for Storm. So Jieshi working on that next step. It's working on that next step. Scarlett, 6 Overlords are in production. Massive supply block. Getting a 4th expansion, resaturating the 3rd. For now, getting to Roach Ravager. No other tech, just Roach Ravager. As, oh, this I was not expecting. Not just going into charge and Archons, and Storm, which makes sense. We're rushing to a fleet beacon. Okay, this is a little bit greedy. This is gonna be getting ready for a longer kind of game state. For the time being, this just looks like a mothership. To rush into a faster mothership to support the army. But this also means that Jieshi is not pushing anytime soon. Jieshi is being more defensive. So Jieshi is hurtling up. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? Scarlett not droning. Scarlett's not droning up. Cutting workers at 66. Roach Ravager pushing in towards the third base. Roach Ravager pushing in towards the fourth as well. And as we're being greedy, as Jeshi's getting to Storm, into carrier production, into a fleet being into everything else, here come the Roaches. They're going for the kill. They're going for the bases. And Jieshi getting caught with his pants down. Storm is not done. Roaches, they get into the middle line. Probes are falling. Late reaction there out of Jieshi. Yeah, late reaction. Late response. Roaches, once again, they do hit the right hand side. 15 probes do go down. Scarlett just pulling Jieshi apart. And it wasn't for the mothership, it was for carrier, which is crazy. Making one carrier at a time. And again, this is all quite greedy here from Jieshi and is being punished for it. As Roaches, they strike the fourth base once again. Jieshi just doesn't have the supply to defend both locations at once. Just doesn't have the supply. As the fourth is gonna go down. And even this third base is barely operational. And now Scarlett's droning. Now Scarlett's droning up. Scarlett did not see the fleet beacon, but we have a Spire on the way regardless. From here, can go into Muta play. Or prepare for the worst. Scarlett rotating over. Carrier is revealed. Now Scarlett knows to invest into Corruptors. And the wall's open. Oh god, the wall is wide open! No! Roaches, they get into the main, they get into the natural as well. At the same time, main army report towards the third. Jieshi does defend against the main army, but what about the economy? What about the probes? What about the main? And we have 15 mutas on the way. Because the carrier count is so low, and Scarlett confirms there's only one Stargate producing anything, the mutas are enough. Mutas, they're more than good enough here to deal with a single carrier. They also shoot down. It's crazy. High Templar gets targeted. Roaches are being cleaned up. But Jieshi down to 49 probes. And here come the mutas. Los pantalones, papi. Ah, true, true. When did this tournament take place? It took place like a week ago? Like 2 weeks ago? What do you mean? As mutas, they do hit the mineral line. Hit the mineral line, catching up more probes. Some boys being pulled away. And Scarlett's will overwhelm. Getting into the bases. Yeah, GG gets called. Jieshi gets torn apart. And Scarlett will take game number 3, taking a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played, does take a lead, and we'll see if Scarlett can claim the series here. As a reminder, best of 5. Best of 5. Again, Jieshi didn't have the worst start going into charge and getting across the map. Was able to, remember, kill 3 queens, 4 drones, trade with the army. It wasn't too bad, but was maybe a little bit too greedy in the follow-up. It wasn't just taking up into Immortals and Storm and Archons, that's fine, and +1, but rushing into carrier production did feel very ambitious, especially on a smaller map like Ultralove. We spoke about this at the start of the game, how Ultralove is known for being a smaller map, known for having a shorter rush distance, so aggression can be favored here, and it takes so little time for Roaches to move from one side to the other. So Jieshi just being a little bit too greedy. With that, GG, well played. With that, Scarlett takes the lead, and now we're jumping into our next game, jumping into Amygdala. Let's go. Here we go. Top right hand corner here of Amygdala. We have the blue. Comes to his openers when it comes to his builds of choices, has had quite a bit of success, destructive here on the map, especially early on. So if there were to be a map where Jieshi would open up and be more defensive and tech up into Sky Toss and get to the late game, this would be the map for it. This would be it. So we'll see if Jieshi can get there. I mean, before we talk about the late game, I mean, Jieshi has been hyper-aggressive every game so far. We've either seen early Glaive Adepts or we have seen early Charge as well. We saw that on Ultra Love. So we have seen these earlier tech switches and earlier tech choices every game in the series. We'll see if that continues. Because of how the series has progressed, I can't imagine Scarlett will ever skip the Roach Warren. So because of that, because we've seen so much aggression, safe play is most likely going to be occurring, and that's going to make it more difficult here for Jieshi to get any damage. It's going to make it difficult. From here we have our tech of choice, going to be a Stargate opener out of Jieshi. It does open Stargate. And we'll see, we open up Void Ray, we open up Oracle. If we go for an earlier Twilight Council, which I'm leaning towards to most likely be the case, as we have yet to see plus one Blink Stalkers out of Jieshi. Just hasn't happened this series. Oh, and there it is, a Void Ray first. So a Void Ray opener out of our Protoss player. The purpose and the goal of the Void Ray is to hunt down the Overlords. Hunt down Overlords and to keep Scarlett in the dark. From here, there are possibilities here. You can go into Glaive Adepts, you can go into double Stargate, Void Ray, double Stargate, into Tempest Rush, into Carrier Rush. You can go into a Charge Base all-in, or you can even go for a standard game. Into Oracle, into a third, into +1 and Blink Stalker. Like there's, oh god, we're going early. Early Twilight Council, this screams Glaive Adepts. Void Ray, oh no! The Void Ray does overshoot and the Overlord is slipping in. And does the Overlord scout? Scarlett, oh, not quite. Whew, does not get the scout off. Scarlett is in the dark, is aware of the Void Ray, but that's all she's aware of. Will delay the third. Now, I say this screams Glaive Adepts. We have seen Jieshi go into Charge. We have seen him go into Charge as follow-up. Again, that happened on Ultra Love. Eyes are on the Twilight Council. There is Glaives are on the way. So early Glaives here from Jieshi. Now, as I mentioned before, because how this series has played out, Scarlett should not be skipping the Roach Warren. We should be seeing one momentarily. As the third base is spotted. Early Eva Chamber. This feels like +1 melee. If it's melee, there's a lower chance it's going to be roaches. There we go. Thankfully, safety Baneling Nest. Whew, okay. Now, this is a little bit more tricky to defend with. As you can imagine, Banelings are going to be quite slow. Baneling speed is not going to be done in time for the Glaive Adepts. Baneling speed is a later upgrade, especially requiring lair, of course, and there is no lair. So the slow Banes have to keep up with the Shades. It can be difficult, it can be risky, but it is possible. Scarlett likewise needs forewarning to morph in Banelings as well, but does have the ability to defend. As Adepts are moving out, they're massing as we speak. There we go, Scarlett getting safety Banelings. Did not confirm the Adepts, did not see the army coming, not yet, but is playing it safe nonetheless. There's going to be 5 Banelings. That's moving in. Scarlett does spot the army, is aware we need a wall. The Banelings, oh, they're waddling in. Banelings are waddling in, Scarlett with a mess around. And massive connections, brutal connections here as Scarlett does catch out the army. Everything is going to go down. They take shade into the base, but Lings are here to shut them down. And Scarlett does break out, cleans up the army. There's nothing left. Ay, ay, ay. Jieshi caught with his pants down out in the open. And now there are 4 deaths remaining. Shield batteries are on the way. Again, the Glaive Adepts were not good enough. And from here we can Bane Bust. From here we can Bane Bust. Scarlett backing off, droning. Scarlett droning up instead, going for the lair. Going for a longer game state. Doesn't risk it. Which I appreciate. There are sentries, there are force fields. It is difficult for Ling Bane to get some good surface area on this army, considering the Sim City. So Scarlett backs off, wants none of it, and double expands. 4th base, 5th base, knocking down the gold as well. And from here can go into Ling Bane Hydra. Would you have a safety Roach Warren on the way, though? There's that Roach Warren. I mean, considering that she knows she's up against Glaive Adepts, Roaches, they can be quite useful here. They can tank. Behind this, Bay is on the way, working towards Colossus, +1. But everything's late. Like, the problem here for Jieshi is that because of the commitment into Masked Glaive Adept, this means the Robo is late, the +1 Forge is late, the Bay is late, everything else is delayed in favor of the Adepts, and they didn't pay for themselves. It just wasn't worth it. So because of that, Jieshi has fallen behind. He's fallen behind. Scarlett still being active with his Lings. Behind this, not going into Hydra's, going into Lingbane Roach Ravager. Likewise, getting another expansion, going for the gold. Getting up to 6 bases. Scarlett does knock down those rocks. Rocks are being knocked down. Disruptors are now on the way. But again, there's nothing pressuring Scarlett to actually break the defensive line here of Jieshi. Oh, except for the gold. I mean, the gold would be a way to recover, true. Scarlett is maxing out. And Scarlett is choosing not to take up. Choosing not to take up into Hydras, into Infestation Pits, into Lurkers. Oh, sorry, there we go. Infestation Pit now on the way. Now getting ready for Hive Tech. But Scarlett is maxing. And here come the Banelings. Here come the Roaches, the Ravagers, everything else. Up! Biles, they shut the Void Ray. Void Ray goes down. That should not have happened. Jieshi, not quite paying attention. Caught off guard. And what do we have to defend? No Storm. No Storm. One Disruptor. Second Disruptor's on the way. Lings, they confirm the gold. There it goes up. Ooh, decent connection. And it does go up. Scarlett pushing into the third. Lings, they come in towards the top side. Distracting Jieshi. And again, these are efficient trades for the Protoss player, but Scarlett wants to trade. There we go, Lings, they once again flood in. They're going for the Nexus. A Disruptor getting caught out. Oh my god, the Biles connect. And again, Scarlett trading with the army. Lings, they will not get the expansion, barely not. But another Archon goes down, another 2 Archons fall. And Scarlett behind this, 81 workers. 81 workers can remax, rebuild, 50 more Roaches on the way. She does barely hold on. Jieshi does survive the first wave, but now getting ready for wave number 2. And again, look at the losses here. 2 Disruptors, 2 Archons. Did take down 86 Lings. But again, Scarlett can afford these trades. Oh, the Biles, they knock down the expansion. Nexus falls. Scarlett opening up the map. And Jieshi needs time to build up. Storm is now being researched. Getting up to 2 Colossus, but the army is barely here. Back at home, Hive is complete. From here, Scarlett can tech up into Vipers. Likewise, gets eyes on the would-be 4th. Will force a cancel, gets a kill. That's a good one to cancel. Lings, they flood in, the wall is wide open. The wall is open, forcing a recall as well. Lings, they flood into the bases, and again, Jieshi just being torn apart. Roaches, they collapse on the army, take down the Archon, they get into the Colossus, oh no! Yeah, no control here, Jieshi focusing elsewhere, focusing in his defense and his main, and he'll lose everything. GG gets called, and Scarlett will claim the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. It was a bold move for Scarlett to play Ling Bane, very bold move, but was proactive, was very proactive, was able to catch out all the Adepts. It was crazy to see Scarlett catch the Adepts out in the open and get the surround and shut them down with those Banelings. From that moment, Jieshi fell behind. Jieshi, he was in a rough position. He had to try to recover, either be hyper greedy or go for an all-in. I do think that the gold base is a good way to recover in this game, to catch back up and to make up for a deficit. But as we saw, Jieshi never got the gold base up and running. Never got it saturated. The gold base was sniped by the Lings, by the Ravagers as well. And without the gold base, there was no chance of Jieshi recovering in that game. GG. GG will play it with that. Scarlett does claim the series, and we are getting ready for our grand finals here as we switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. Here we go. We are going to be catching up, and from the top we have Scarlett. Scarlett takes down Jieshi 3-1, does advance on to the finals. GuMiho takes down Lancer 3-2, went all the way to the ace match. It was an intense back and forth between GuMiho and Lancer, and that leads us into the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 7, not a best of 5, between Scarlett and GuMiho. Let's go. Let's go. Now, to get ready for that, we're going to be going on a short break. Here, we do need some time to prepare for said finals, for said best of 7. So take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and get ready for those finals for that ZVT between GuMiho and Scarlett. See you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the finals, the grand finals here of LiuLi Cup number 38. Again, this is a monthly tournament, monthly tournament series, I should say. Shout out to LiuLi, shout out to Saber for hosting this event on a regular basis. Also, shout out to Saber for reaching out to us as well to cover the event. For those that are curious, this event did take place 2 weeks ago, around 2 weeks or so ago, but we weren't able to cover it live at the time just because we've been so busy with our schedule, so busy covering other events. So we did put things off, put it off as a replay cast instead. But again, seeing that, of course, it was the return of Scarlett, we had to be there for it. We had to be there to cover the event, at least via replay, so we are catching up. And again, when it comes to LiuLi Cup, they're usually different formats. Like sometimes 1 month it is like a straight up 1v1 best of 9. Sometimes it's a GSL group. Sometimes it's a round robin group. Sometimes it's 8 player. Sometimes it's 4 players. This time it was 4 players, best of 5s into best of 7s. So they do kind of adjust. They do actually adjust and have different formats depending on the month, depending on what what tickles their fancy and what they want to go into. Here we had a 4-player single elimination bracket, and we have our top 2. We have our top 2 players, our top 2 finalists here are Zerg and our Terran, Scarlett, and GuMiho. And we are jumping into game number 1. Let's go. We're jumping into game 1. And we'll see how this story ends. We'll see who comes out on top. As spawning in the top left-hand corner here of King's Cove, we have the Canadian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran. It is GuMiho. We go. So jumping in. Oh my god, and GuMiho, he does kick things off with what? With not just one SCV, with 2 SCVs. GuMiho, he's an animal. We kick things off with a proxy 2 racks. Proxy 2 racks being sent across the map. The racks are going to be thrown down over towards the right hand side, over at the 4th base location. Oh boy. And we'll see how this all comes together. What I will say, these racks are actually a little bit further away. We have seen some more common locations here towards the left-hand side, or even here on top of the elevated area here towards the center of the map. But regardless, racks are on the way. Gases are being taken. Hold on. So usually 2x Marine Bunker Rush is gasless, of course, as you need no gas for any of that. With gases being taken, is this 2x Reaper? I would assume so. This is not a thing. Proxy 2x Reaper here out of GuMiho. Okay, you have my attention. Meanwhile, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Scarlett. Let's go for the standard opener. Yep, 2x Reaper. Okay. Honmono, is that you? I know Honmono, he does this every now and then. I know that Bjorn it's very rare for Bjorn, very rare. But in general, this is almost a never seen build in this matchup. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what GuMiho can get done. We'll see if we can get some worker kills. We'll see if we can catch Scarlett out. Let's go. As Reapers are coming. Here we go. Reapers are going to be rallying in. Behind the Scarlett is freely droning. Queens are on the way, Lings are on the way as well. The Reapers will hit first, it will hit hard, and they do hit the main. And from here, Scarlett should recognize, hold up, this Reaper is insanely fast. Something is wrong, there must be a proxy. Already saves the worker, nicely done. Morphs into a gas. Roach one gets thrown down. We are committing to the gas. We're going for the Roach Rush. We're going for the Roach Rush here. A quick response here from Scarlett does cancel the gas geyser. So staying on one gas for the time being. Ooh, but Lings are being cleaned up, trying to buy time here for the Queen. Spore on the way to save the drone. But the Reaper count's getting a bit out of hand. So far going for the Queen as well. Reaper does pull away. Oh no! Does pull back. Does survive. And with that, picks up all Lings so far has not lost a single Reaper. So far, 6 drone kills. Reapers, they rotate. GuMiho transitioning back at home. We have a factory on the way. Heads towards the natural. Low ground is exposed. The drone's going to be falling. Yeah, this is brutal losses. You're getting one, getting up. Just the one drone. Well, that could have been so much worse. Getting clean defense here from Scarlett. A Roach production has begun. Again, all of one gas. Skipping Link speed. And the Roaches, they arrive. The King goes down. Pissed off a Queen. But Scarlett holds. Scarlett does hold. We can see their cannot counterattack, cannot move out. Is still stuck at home because of the Reapers. But again, very impressive. Scarlett only lost one drone. Only one drone has fallen in the defense. I mean, a drone and a queen, to be fair. But Scarlett is redroning, resaturating. Behind this, GuMiho going for a 1-1-1, or going for a factory into Starport before CC. Once again, hyper aggressive. Tech Lab going for the early Cyclone. We're going to hunt down the Overlords. We're going to hunt down Overlords. We're going to apply more pressure. GuMiho is still just hyper aggressive here. With a Starport, we could go for a Medevac or even into a Tech Lab into Banshee. Overlord does confirm. And it is going to be that Medevac. So we're following this up with Cyclone Harass. Now, Scarlett does have the slightly better economy on 2 bases. That is true. The economy is better. And again, Scarlett does hold with those roaches. Again, was all for 1 gas. Oh, Overlord does go down. Reapers back into the main. They do snipe 1 roach. Scarlett setting up in the low ground, trying to catch out GuMiho. Oh, and barely will. Yeah, another Reaper goes down. GuMiho does slip away. Just getting as much value as he can with these Reapers. Boys being pulled. Boys being pulled away. And here come the Cyclones. And again, the purpose of these Cyclones should be to hunt down Overlords, but potentially even to hunt out key roaches. Roaches here and there. Lair is just now on the way. Scarlett trying to redraw, resaturate, getting a 3rd base. Taking up into Lair, taking gases. Behind this, Banshee production has begun, so Medevac into Banshee play. Natural being taken, 3rd base on the way. From here, uncertain if GuMiho is going to embrace mech. But he probably will, as Araxes are being thrown down. Or they're being hunted down. Lock-on the Ravager. Ravager does break the lock-on. Lock-on being spent on the hatchery instead. Can he go for the expansion? Ah, not quite. A little bit greedy. Rax goes down. The other one also being used to scout. So we should be seeing more factories. That would make the most sense here. As Banshees are on the way. We have Armory as well. So GuMiho, he's embracing mech. Catching out a queen. GuMiho drops into the natural. Likewise, Spire is on the way, so far unscouted.
Base is under attack.
Getting ready for me to play. Cyclones, they get forced back. Reapers back into the main. Other Reapers that still pose a threat. And they will get some drone kills. 1, 2, 3, 4 drones going down. But they don't scout the tech. They do not scout the Spire. Not yet.
Command center upgrade complete.
Likewise, go for the queens. Oh my god, 1 queen goes down. But doesn't see what's going on. We have just pure tank production underway. The Banshees are soon to arrive. So far, 2 Banshees, no cloak. But they find more drones. Nice, Morphin of Viva Chambers. Does save them. Drones are saved. Oh, another worker goes down. But the mutas are coming. The mutas are coming. 7 mutas on the way. And there's still no anti-air. Like, there's still nothing that shoots up. I mean, I guess we have 2 Cyclones. We have 2 Cyclones in the Medevac. We have some safety turrets on the way. GuMiho preparing for the worst. And more turrets being thrown down. So we're going to have a turret in each mineral line. Likewise, a turret covering the main army as well. So he's just hurling. He's just hurling up at this point, just fully walling up, fully walling off. He's got tanks for the ground army. He's got turrets as well for the would-be mutas. Mutas move out. Now we can still find some damage, but oh god, now cycling production has begun. Just a really secure setup here from GuMiho. Mutas, they make their way across the map. Again, they hit a little bit too late. There is a gas geyser that's exposed. And then we get a couple of SCVs. Oof. It's gonna be 5 SCV kills for 2 mutas. And they don't get much more than that. 7 SCVs. Okay, not bad. Oh god. 7 SCV kills. Scarlett does get away. Behind this, here's a droning, getting a 4th. 1-1 upgrades. And economically has recovered. Thankfully, this also forced GuMiho back home. So the game will continue. GuMiho now claiming a 4th. Getting his 4th on location. Building up macro accelerators. Blue Flame is on the way. GuMiho is still just turtling up, pushing forward with more turrets. And Scarlett going into Swarm Hosts. I mean, they have their place against mech, true. Now, my concern here is that Swarm Hosts are ideal against a slower form of mech, against a tank-heavy style, against a player that's going into macro accelerators, and against a player that's going into battle mech like this, it can be difficult. Just because there's a higher chance that GuMiho can find and catch the Nidus Swarms and the Swarm Hosts out on the map. Here's a poke in. Ooh, we trade a muta for 3 SCVs. Cyclone's moving out. Move out across the map. Likewise, Nidus on the way. So far unscouted. So far so good.
Research complete.
Sensor tower is now done. GuMiho, he rotates over. Looking for the mutas, he finds the Nidus. Nidus is going to be shut down. Mutas, they do slip into the main. Nidus into the main as well. Not bad. And here comes the main army. And GuMiho, he's distracted. Is distracted here. Does deal with the mutas. Roach Ravager hits the forward base. Bailing's ahead for the mineral line. Otherwise, oh my god, don't quite connect. 7 SCV kills. Nidus does not finish, does not complete. And GuMiho holds. GuMiho does hold on. Shuts down the Nidus Worms. Does bleed out 7 SCVs. So far, it does hold. Whereas Nidus on the right hand side. GuMiho pushing right down the center though. And the Swarm Hosts have yet to really get a Locust Wave up and running, but there we go, this time they will. GuMiho still trading well though. Catching up more queens. Yeah, 3-4 queens go down. Locust Wave into the natural. Natural is exposed. And she does find some SCVs, not bad. 7, 8, 9 SCVs going down. Tonight's mining at the natural, picks up a couple of depots. GuMiho is hunting for that Nidus. We'll find it. Down goes the Nidus Worm. Nidus on the way. GuMiho rotating over, denying vision. Oof. Nidus does finish once again, but this time there are benches in position. Yeah, GuMiho all over this, all over the Nidus Worms. We spoke about it, like this heavy Cyclone style, just so much more active, so much more mobile. It is more difficult to get these Nidus Worms up and running, not impossible. Has already had 1 Locust Wave. Nidus pops. GuMiho is aware. And GuMiho, he will find it. GuMiho, he did notice the creep, but didn't respond. Did not respond to the creep. A bit of an oversight there from GuMiho. And this will delay the planetary. A will delay. Pressure coming in, lands a fungal, not bad. We got a decent fight here from Scarlett. Ooh, but pushing into tank fire. Brutal losses again. The lock-ons are insane. GuMiho Sunset Sword takes out all the Ravagers. Again, the Cyclones, they just mow through all the Roach Ravager. The army crumbles. And GuMiho is breaking through. He's breaking through for now, pulling back. Waits for reinforcements. That was a brutal trade for Scarlett. Locust Wave is found. Finally, GuMiho will deal with the Nidus. And GuMiho's maxed. GuMiho's maxed out with a terrifying army. Scarlett down in supply. Bearing in mind she's playing Roach Ravager, so being down in supply is even worse, as it is very supply inefficient to begin with. And this is going to be a brutal hold. Now there is potential for a couple of fungal growths, that is true, but it may not matter. Bailey's they smash in, they shut down the Hellbats. And that was a decent fight initially here for Scarlett, but there's still just so much behind this. It doesn't matter. Oh, defensive Locust Wave. Locust Wave is spent. GuMiho pushing forward. Cleans up the Locust. And from here, GuMiho stumbling out of control, breaks down those spores. Wiles here take down the Liberator. But the tanks, they stand strong. And bases are falling. Bases are falling one after the other. Scarlett has no answer to this. The Locust Waves were lackluster. Scarlett was able to get one mineral line, or a couple of SCVs, I should say. I think it was 9, right? 9 SCVs went down, which was good, but we needed more. In the end, the Stormers did not really pay for themselves. Outside of that, they denied a planetary, but they didn't get any more damage. And with that, GuMiho is breaking through. The Locust Wave can deal with some of these tanks, though. We go 1, 2, 3 tanks going down. Nice Miles. Very nice Miles towards the end. Scarlett trading as best she can, but GG gets called. There's still just too much to handle, and GuMiho takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GuMiho does take a lead in the series. Again, a very quirky, very crazy style early on. Remember, it was Proxy 2-Rax Reaper, not Marine. It was Proxy 2-Rax Reaper. Scarlett did defend very well against it, going into Roaches, but the follow-up was brutal, going into Cyclones, into Banshees, into Mech, which is where GuMiho did thrive. Scarlett did go into Muta play, was 3-base Muta, just 7 Mutas to harass across the map. The Mutas weren't really worth it though. The Mutas, they got a couple of SCV kills, but nothing major. GuMiho was able to prepare ahead of time. GuMiho, he was able to, even though he didn't scout what was going on, he was turtling anyway. So we had safety turrets all over the place in the mineral lines, covering the main army as well. There was enough to defend, and GuMiho was already going into battle mech to begin with, so plenty of Cyclones. GG. GG, well played. With that, GuMiho does take a lead in the series, and now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. As we are loading into ley lines. As spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the Canadian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Shopify Rebellion down in the series, looking to tie things up in this best of 7. Again, plenty of games ahead of us, plenty of games to come. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, leading the series 1-0. It is GuMiho. We go. As once again, Once again, 2 racks going for the proxy. Oh yeah. 2 games in a row. Why not, Pappy? Why not? 2 games in a row. GuMiho does send out 2 SCVs. Did I say 2 SCVs? My apologies. 3 SCVs. Sorry, I was looking elsewhere at the time. My head was in my hands. This time, no gas. So this time it should be proxy 3 racks Marine here from GuMiho. This should be a bunker rush on the low ground. This is that much more committed, that much more dedicated. This is gonna hit like a truck, and Scarlett, moving out with the Overlord, will scout this. Thankfully, Scarlett will see this at a time. Upon scouting and confirming this, Scarlett has a couple of options with how she wants to respond. She can respond with roach play. She can respond with pulling the boys as well to try to break this position. We'll see how Scarlett does open. For now, it does confirm 2 raxes. It does confirm the initial raxes. From there, it does not pull the boys yet. Still droning, still saturating. We'll spot the SCVs moving in. SCVs do push forward. And bunkers are on the way. Your spawning pool is done. Link production has begun. Boys are being pulled. And it's going to be on Scarlett here to make sure this bunker does not get up and running. Scarlett, I mean, again, it's proxy 3 racks. So there's more Marines. Yeah, there are more Marines here. Nice start stepping out of GuMiho. Takes on 1, 2, 3 workers. 4, 5. This is getting out of hand. This is becoming too much. Far too much here. 6 drone kills. 7, 8. This is game ending. This is game ending damage. This is 10 workers going down. This response that Scarlett went for was designed to shut down proxy 2 racks. But with 3 racks, there are more Marines, more than normal. Nice stutter stepping. Nice kiting here from GuMiho. And GuMiho will overwhelm. Will overwhelm this. Taking out all the Lings, taking down 10 drones. Scarlett down to 10 workers. Scarlett has a worse economy than GuMiho, as GuMiho's on 17 SCVs plus mules. And Scarlett is rejoining. Scarlett rejoining, resaturating. But at least Scarlett saves the expansion, right? At least Scarlett saves the natural. GuMiho going for the CC from here. A couple of Lings do get across the map. GuMiho building up a Marine army. And this is a rough start for Scarlett. And we'll see where our players go from here. As GuMiho steps in, takes down a Queen. Yeah, Queen goes down. Gets 1, gets 2. GG gets called. There's nothing at home to defend. And GuMiho will take the game. We'll take a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, too many losses there, unfortunately. It was a misread from Scarlett. Scarlett, by pulling the boys, again, that is designed to shut down a proxy 2 racks. With 3 racks, it's brutal. Basically, there were more Marines than were expected. Because there were more Marines, the drones were punished, the Lings were punished, and everything just went south from there. What was Scarlett supposed to do? Against a proxy 3 racks, you can take a couple of different responses. You can take the you just don't pull the boys, or instead you go for a spine crawler response to delay, get your Queens, get your Lings up and running. You don't necessarily chase off of creep in such a way. You would be more tentative, more conservative with your workers. Again, that was like a proxy 2 racks defense, more so than a proxy 3 racks defense. Overcommitted with the workers. And with that, we're getting into game number 3. Getting into game 3, and we'll see how our players turn this around here. I'm hoping for a back and forth. GuMiho has proxy 2 racks every game so far. Or I should say, going for a proxy every game so far. We'll see how we adjust coming into game 3. And spawning in the top right hand corner here of Frost Sign, we have the Canadian Zerg player, the Red Zerg from the land of Canada, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, represent currently teamless. It is GuMiho, leading the series at 2-0. And this time, no SCVs. This time there is no proxy. For the first time this series, the Rax is back at home. Again, GuMiho had a spicy showing so far with a 2 ranks Reaper in game 1 and Proxy 3 ranks Bunker Rush in game number 2, but now the Rax is back at home. Oh my god. Meanwhile, gas first. Scarlett's going for, I mean, so the way this series has been playing out, this makes sense. Scarlett with a gas first opener, this could be two things. This could be a Bane Bust or this could be a Roach Rush. Because of the proxies and the cheese that GuMiho has been going for, this would be almost a hard counter to that. But as we can see, GuMiho is going for a standard opener instead. Now, we'll see if GuMiho SCV scouts. If perchance doesn't SCV scouts, then this can pop off. Again, we'll see if we throw down the Baliness or the Roach Warren. Where will Scarlett take us? Where we headed? As Scarlett goes for a delayed expansion. As there we go, we do have the low ground CC. No SCV Scout. 0 SCV Scout from GuMiho. But Scarlett pulls out of gas. So Ling Speed pulls out of gas. We're not going for a Roach Rush. We're not going for a Bane Bust. Only insanely fast Ling Speed. Lings are moving out. The purpose of this would be to avoid the Reaper and to delay the CC. But Scarlett is going through. There we go. Scarlett does avoid. The Overlord did confirm the Reaper. So nice moves out of Scarlett. Does avoid the main scouting path. And with this, can delay the CC. Might even be able to force a cancel, which would be insane. As Lings, they do hit the CC. They will delay. Reaper races back home. Boys are being pulled. Scarlett will pick off the Marine. Very nice catch. Marine goes down, but the CC will continue. With that, Scarlett gets a full scout. Ling Speed is almost done, and we have a Ling Flood. Oh, we're not joining. Scarlett is not joining. Scarlett currently works at 21, going for a massive Ling Flood, going for the all-in. Behind this, 1-1-1 out of GuMiho. Ooh. This is going to be clutch. So GuMiho delays his third CC. Delayed third CC, faster starport, faster Banshee production, faster units in general, but Lings, they pop off, they get another SCV. Another SCV goes down. And Scarlett's hoping to catch that Hellion, and Scarlett will catch the Hellion. Oh my god. Down to half HP. Hellion tries to kite back. Is going to be zoned away. And there we go. More Lings have arrived. They catch out the Hellion. Behind this, we have reacted Hellion on the way. Can Scarlett break down that wall, though? I'm not so... Yeah, won't be able to. Won't be able to. Behind this, Scarlett now starts running up. This is a big commitment here into Scarlett, into Lings from Scarlett. And does delay mining, but doesn't do much more than that. So 4 SCVs was nice. It was a nice start. Bearing in mind that there's no third command center, so this is a little bit more committed from GuMiho. GuMiho, are we going into BC? No shot. No, add-on swap. So Viking into add-on swap into what should be Banshee play. Thank God. Yo, when I saw the Viking First, now, for those who are curious, a Viking First is designed to hide tech, is designed to typically hide something like Battlecruiser. The reason for this is because when you open Viking like this, it means that if you're going Banshee, your Banshee and your Cloak is going to be delayed because you made a Viking first. So typically this would be unseen and unscouted, and you would not expect Banshees because this is an inefficient and delayed way to get into Banshee tech. So this is a cheeky build here by GuMiho. This can hide basically early stim or even BC production. Meanwhile, Armory, it's going to be a Banshee Hellbat push. Oh boy. It is going to hit quite hard. Viking landing into the main. Getting a drone. Getting one and getting two. Hellions, they poke in on the right-hand side. Getting another couple of workers. Quick Eva chamber there by Scarlett. Does protect the hatchery. Scarlett going into roaches. Against GuMiho makes sense. But behind this, the armory is done. Banshees are moving in, and here comes the Hellbat push. Even going into Hyperflight Rotors. Ay, ay, ay. What do we have to defend? Ooh, 16 lings. That is not enough. How many queens? Only 6 queens. Yeah, Scarlett's not ready for this. Scarlett didn't see this coming ahead of time. And Clutch Transfuse saves one of the queens, but there are just so many Hellbats. And GuMiho is waddling into the mineral line, in towards the natural. Cloak Banshee getting free damage on the queens. Drones are zoned away. Oh no, they stack! No! Oh my god, they do stack up. GuMiho, don't think he notices. Gets it anyway. There we go. 9 drones, 10 workers go down instantly. 11 drone kills. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of control. We have 6 roaches coming in. This is a slower push here. A little bit of indecisiveness out of GuMiho. But there we go. Pushing into the main. Javelin run by. Hellions are back home. The wall is solid. Lings, they do nothing. And more workers are getting roasted. More queens are going down. GG gets called. And GuMiho will extend his lead at 3-0. 1 game away from claiming the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, this time a more aggressive start out of Scarlett. Unfortunately, wasn't quite worth it. If you recall, Scarlett cut workers at 21. 21 drones, rush into link speed, did delay the CC, and did get, I want to say, 4 SCV kills. I think 7 in total. 3 initially, and then 4 after that, 7 in total, which was okay, but again, wasn't quite worth it. The other scary thing, of course, was the 1-1-1 that GuMiho had gone for. Scarlett did scout the starport before the CC. Just hyper aggression out of GuMiho. Unfortunately, Scarlett was caught droning. Scarlett was caught getting ready for a longer and later game, whereas instead it was just straight up Banshee Hellbat push instead. And with that, GG. We're now loading into Whispers of Gold, and again, we're hoping for a back and forth, but this has been a bit of a quirky series. We have yet to see any standard play, any macro play. True, we saw some mech and we saw a bit more late game on King's Cove, but that was very different. That was a very different dynamic of a proxy Jurax. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner. Oh, this is a gold. We have the Canadian Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, 1 game away from claiming the series and winning this best of 7. We have the South Korean Terran player. It is GuMiho. We go. And welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. Whispers of Gold is a very small map. Short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on this map, whether it's something like a Hellbat push, for example, or roach base all ins. Aggression is favored here. We'll see how our players will approach this. This time, hatch first. Hatch first out of Scarlett. Rax at home for GuMiho. Here we go. As we are settling in. So hatch gas pool. So far, nothing crazy, nothing wild. I would say that this so far is the most standard opener that we've had the entire series. Remember, game 1, GuMiho went proxy 2-axe Reaper. Game 2, GuMiho went proxy 3-axe Bunker Rush. And game 3, we had gas first out of Scarlett. So this time, standard opener from Scarlett, standard opener from GuMiho. Never mind. Never mind. So GuMiho does go for a Rax expand, but GuMiho, he will skip the SCV scout, which is crazy, and he skips the Reaper scout as well, which is even more crazy. Considering what happened last game, considering the gas first build, this is greedy, this is risky here from GuMiho. GuMiho is cutting a lot of corners here, playing blind. For all he knows, there could be early gas, there could be a Roach Warren, there could be a Bane Nest, there could be aggression coming his way, but GuMiho, he rolls the dice, he rolls well. Yeah, skipping the SCV scout, skipping the Reaper scout, going Reactor Marine. This can lead into a 2-on-1. This can lead into a 3 racks. We'll see where this takes us. Now, okay, this can also lead us into BC. There's a lot of possibilities. Now, with the Reactor Marine, what this does, one, yes, it does mean an earlier and higher Marine count, but it also is a way to deny scouting early on. The purpose here should be to deny the Overlord scout. And you can see he's looking, he's searching for the Overlord. Scarlett does make sure she's hugging that pillar. Is now aware that, you know, the Overlord is in danger. Again, this SCV, I believe, should be looking for said Overlord and going for a delayed scout towards a 3rd. And And again, what are we hiding? 1-1-1, no third CC. Just like last game, no third CC. With this starport, we can go for a fusion core. We can go for, once again, Viking first. So this can lead into the same build that we saw last game. Tech Lab is on the way. This feels like an add-on swap into Banshee. But Hurley bunker being thrown down. Marines, they just head across the map. Yeah, they're going for the third. Scarlett responds with the Roach Warren. GuMiho freestyling a little bit here. Zoning away the Marines. Sorry, zoning away the Lings. No Ling speed. Uh-oh. Yeah, no Ling speed. Scarlett going straight for Roaches instead. First Queen is going to be targeted. There's no transfuse. Oh, it does get the Queen. Bunker does complete, but nothing to fill the bunker. Hellions, they just rush on past. They do get eyes on the Roach Warren. Drones are being pulled. Drones getting roasted. Getting 3, 4, 5 drone kills. Getting up to 6. Oh no, they're lining up. Getting up to 7. Oh god. 7 workers. 7 drones go down. The reason why the boys had to be pulled here was because there's no Ling speed. There's no Lings. We're rushing into Roaches. But ay, that is brutal damage early on. 7 drones go down. And Scarlett, sure, she's rushing into Roaches, but the problem here is that we have Cloak Banshee, or we have Banshees. Banshees are designed to shut down Roaches. Even here, denied entry into the natural. Scarlett in position. Scarlett does deflect. GuMiho force back. Command center is on the way. CC on location. And how many Banshees? 1. Only 1. Going to stim behind this. Hellions, they hit the third. Getting another drone. Oh yeah, more drones going to be going down and getting up to 3 more workers. Scarlett, no lair. No lair, no roach speed. Scarlett, for the most part, I would say she's stuck back at home, stuck droning, stuck defending. And GuMiho should freely be able to get into his third. GuMiho should be free to do so. Overlord is being hunted down. From here, we have our Rax explosion, getting up to 6 Raxes back at 7. Yo, we 8 Raxing? Jesus. Oh my god. That's a massive Rax explosion here from GuMiho. Production explosion even. Scarlett back at home going to +1 range. Still no Link speed, so just pure Roach Ravager out of Scarlett. And GuMiho building up to, yep, 8 Raxes. 8 Raxes, 3 CC. No 4th base, no gases. This is going to be a 3 base all-in out of GuMiho going pure Marine tank. And this is a solid map for it. Again, Wisps of Gold is a small map, short rush distance by ground. Now, an A-Rax against someone that's going Roach Ravager, we'll see how this turns out. Roach Ravager can be, at times, more efficient, especially with their biles, especially when it comes to trying to catch out those tanks. Keep an eye on Scarlett. As the Banshee does poke in, gets a couple of drone kills, gets a couple of workers. Likewise, Scarlett droning up actually quite hard. Has been droning up quite heavily here, and GuMiho still not quite pulling the trigger. Again, making 11 Marines at a time, waiting for combat shields. 1-1 is done, and now the push is beginning. Still building up. Scarlett likewise getting to +2 range. We have Infestors on the way. Let's go. That is a good way to support the Roach Ravager. I say Roach, really the Roach army. No Ravagers yet. GuMiho does poke in. Tank volley going off. Second tank has arrived. And the all-in has begun. It's all or nothing with GuMiho. Does him in. Takes down one of the queens. Takes down a queen. We need those infestors. Decent concave here, but the tanks, they are sieging up, and Scarlett abandons the third. Does pull away, morphing in some roaches. Trying to at least. Again, morphing whatever she can. Hatchery does go down. Making use of the broodlings. Decent concave. Files, they graze the medevacs. Fungal comes in. And the Marines are going down. But those tanks are still getting so much damage in the back line. They're just, the tank volleys, they're brutal. Scarlett pulls back. Third base has been broken. Scarlett does saturate the fourth. I guess a new third. New third base is saturated. GuMiho pushing forward. Files, they take down one of the tanks. Oh, they barely do not. There we go, the tank does go down. Tank barely falls. Mobiles connecting. Getting barely a second tank. And getting on top of the final tank. Yeah, the Ravagers, they do connect with the Biles. Whew, and Scarlett holds. Scarlett, she barely holds on. Did cost her a base, did cost her an expansion, but she saved the drones. That's what's important. Did save the mineral line. Scarlett on 87 drones. Now Scarlett gaining map control, breaking out. We have another infestor on the way, getting to +2. GuMiho losing a lot of momentum. Again, 0 tanks remaining. More tanks on the way. Scarlett double expands. GuMiho will force a cancel. Ooh, does get a kill. Yeah, kill auto cancel on the hatchery. Nice pick off. Oh, Fungal doesn't connect. GuMiho avoids the Fungal. Stims on forward. Catching out a couple of roaches. A fusion court? Is he going into BCs? As a follow-up? This is not for Liberator range. No shots. Actually, maybe it is. There's no tech lab on the starport. What is happening? Okay. Liberator against Roach Ravager. Interesting as a follow-up. As GuMiho is built up to 2 tanks, he has a hefty bio army. How many infestors? 0. Ooh, 0 infestors. Scarlett trying to slow this down. Goes for a couple of piles. Marines, they stim in. They go for the dive, they go for the Ravagers. A lot of them are being targeted down. Oh my god, every single Ravager falls. GuMiho breaks through the main army. GG gets called, and GuMiho will claim the series at 4-0 and will be our champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. GuMiho will claim the win here. Again, an intense game number 4. Initially, Scarlett was holding, was surviving. It was impressive, but without infestors, without fungal growths, you could see that the Roach Ravager could not hold its own. Roach Ravager cannot fight head-on against a bio army like that without that fungal support. Again, it was impressive that Scarlett held the first wave, and Scarlett was on 87 drones, 87 workers, was double expanding, but the map also comes into play. I'll be honest, if we were on any other map, Scarlett survives longer, maybe holds, maybe takes the game. What I'm referring to specifically on Whispers of Gold, the rush distance is short. This is the smallest map in this tournament map pool, so it takes even less time for the all-in to get across the map. Scarlett has less time to morph in units, less time to gather energy, less time to reinforce. So, I mean, that's why all-ins are more popular on Whispers of Gold. GG. GG, well played. With that, GuMiho does overwhelm, and GuMiho does claim the series. GG, well played. Again, a hyper aggressive series here out of GuMiho with proxies, with mech, with all-ins. We did not see a single standard macro game. it didn't happen. Did not happen at all here in the finals. But that's GuMiho for you. Again, GuMiho, he's one of the more unorthodox and quirky and flexible Terran players out there. When you look at the Korean Terrans, some of them are aggressive, don't get me wrong, like your Marus, your Bjorns, they can be very aggressive, but GuMiho, he has a lot more, he's a lot more willing to mix up his builds and just shake things up. Again, we had Proxy 2-Rax Reaper, Proxy 3-Rax, we had Mech, we had 8-Rax 3 base all in. GG. GG well played. Something different every game of the series. And shout out to Scarlett, because Scarlett may have gone down to GuMiho, but Scarlett did an amazing job making it to those finals. And again, Scarlett has also been on hiatus, right? Scarlett, she has been gone for quite some time, taking a break from StarCraft, focusing on Zero Space, of course, focusing on other RTSs, and likewise focusing on again, other IRL commitments as well. So it's great to see Scarlett return, and again, to make it to the finals to bring down Jieshi was a strong showing here regardless. And I'm excited to see if we see more of Scarlett coming into the qualifiers for future events. Scarlett, she didn't just come back for the LiuLi Cup. If you remember, she also came back for the Boomer Bash. Scarlett was also competing in the Boomer Bash and also had a really good showing there as well. That was over on Wardy's channel last month. And yeah, we'll see if she takes part in the RSL qualifiers or in some of these other events as well. Technically, possibly, we could see Scarlett at Dallas. Of course, Scarlett, I believe, is elsewhere, not in the Americas, not in Canada at the moment, but there's a chance that we might see some travel. It's still uncertain as to who is going to be at Dallas. Dallas is a couple of weeks away. When I say a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. Jesus, two weeks away, almost on the date here. 2 weeks away is DreamHack Dallas, so that is going to be an interesting one. I think for me, I'm most excited to see who signs up. Who's going to be there? I know that visa issues are a concern for certain people, depending on where you are in the world. It takes longer to get visas in some countries than in others, so that definitely is an issue. And because we don't actually know who's going and who isn't. So our eyes are going to be peeled to see who does compete at DreamHack Dallas. Likewise, of course, GSL also underway, and we are going to be going over those replays next week. GSL broadcasts. Let's go. That is the plan. Otherwise, wait, there's a DreamHack? What is going? Yes, this is DreamHack in 2 weeks. DreamHack Dallas is in 2 weeks. And what's the other big event? Stars Agora is first week of June is Stars Agora, and last week of June is Home Story Cup. Also, end of May is season 2 of GSL. Bear that in mind. And EWC is in July. So there's a lot of StarCraft, a lot of content going on. And we're going to be here to cover as much of it as we can. As always, Pappy, as always, we're going to be here for all the content, for all the StarCraft. When it comes to what's happening next here on the channel, we are going to be calling this a little bit earlier here. I do have some show matches to cover via replays. I have Special versus Beyond, and I also have Beyond versus Creator as well, both in best of 5s. But we'll be cutting things a little bit early here today. Just want to take things a little bit slower. It's been a really intense week. And it's going to be an intense couple of months, actually. So I do want to take things a little bit slower than usual. Let us switch our scenes over and catch up on our schedule. Bam. There it is. There is our schedule. So we just wrapped up with our morning broadcast of LiuLi Cup. Tonight we have the Pondcast. That is our weekly talk show where we go over all the news of the week. To give you a taste of things that we're going to be discussing tonight, let's double check. We have the Chicken Man interview. We have SOS. True, SOS, he returned for GSL qualifiers and he's been competing in some weeklies, and he just joined Streamer Zone. GuMiho, he just joined his new team as well, S8UL. He did join his new team. We have other events going on with StarCraft Evolution League. We have Euthermal Series 2 Circuit to go over. We have Brazilian Circuit and a lot more content to discuss when it comes to results and tournament results of the week. So there we go. I still have to actually listen to the Chicken Man interview. How long is it, actually? Let's have a look. 35 minutes. Jesus. Okay, that's a long one. I'll do my best, Pappy. I'll do my best. I'll do my best to try to catch up on this before the Pondcast. So we'll be catching up with the Chicken Man interview. I might actually listen to it on stream. Might do that. Amazing good start. Yeah, of course. I mean, right now it's on the community. It's on us to step up to host our own tournaments and to broadcast as much as we can and to bring you as much StarCraft as we can as well. You know, RSL is a big part of that. KSL, Wardy Circuit, of course, as well. Plenty of content on the horizon. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Do appreciate the support. We are going to be heading off for the time being. And again, as you can see here, for our schedule, we're going to be live at 7 p.m. KST. That is going to be at 8 p.m. AEST. That is in 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we are live with the podcast. Tomorrow we're going to be live with the May Mayhem in the afternoon, as well as Duckling Open, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. We have a lot of content over the weekend, 2-3 events a day, so it's going to be a very jam-packed schedule. Time to ladder, yes. Because I have a little bit of time here today, I do plan on going live on my personal channel and laddering a little bit. I'm gonna go quickly get some food. I'm gonna maybe get a banana or something. I'm gonna quickly go and get some food, something to eat, and then I'll be live on my own personal channel with some StarCraft. Also, if Babylings is up to it, if she's up to it, then I'm more than happy to play some team games as well. So we might play some team games on stream, just to chill, just relax, just to decompress, and totally not panic and totally not yell at each other. It's going to be amazing, I'm sure. So if you're interested, check that out. Otherwise, we are going to be going live and we're going to be having a cheeky ladder session again before the podcast. I might also listen to the Chicken Man interview on stream as well, just so I can take some notes. I usually take some notes in regards to the interview to have things to discuss, of course. Coming back, it's all good. Take your time. It's all good. Take your time. But otherwise, we're going to be heading off for the time being. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, if you want some more CranKy Duckling action, then / socials in the chat, and you'll get a link to our social medias. We do, of course... we do, of course, upload on YouTube on a daily basis. Plenty of content on YouTube. Plenty of content to come. So it's all there over on YouTube. Otherwise, you can also follow myself at light_VIP. Again, I do stream whenever I can. I don't get to stream too often. This is my second stream of the week. I barely get to ladder, barely get to stream. But every now and then, I go live on my channel to ladder a little bit, to smooch, to play some Final Fantasy, and to sometimes play some other games as well. Sometimes. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Again, we'll see you guys later on tonight for the podcast, or we'll see you guys tomorrow for the May Mayhem. Otherwise, hasta luego. Thanks for watching. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching.